commented that the only things people care about in Ukraine are your character, your actions, your behavior, your commitment, and things around your identity are not on anyone's mind. And you describe that as actually a different set of experiences than you have in the US.
And coming over here, you realize nothing matters but liberty and these ideas and values that surround democracy and freedom. And so ultimately, my commander said this to me. He said, Sarah, we're not fighting for tolerance here or acceptance. We're fighting for liberation. We're fighting for life and death, and we're fighting for this idea of freedom. And that stuck with me forever. We're not fighting any sort of war of identity. We're fighting for our lives, and we're fighting to make sure we're not enslaved here.
How would you describe the Ukrainian people from your nearly year there?
I've never been around a group of people more certain in their beliefs and more willing to carry them out than the Ukrainian people. You talk about morale. Of course, the morale waxes and wanes because we're surrounded by death. But no one has lost the belief in victory. And this has been amazing. They talk about folks in the West being tired of the conflict. People are tired here, but they are still fully energized and fully focused on winning. And so I become inspired. It doesn't even have to be at the front lines. I could be in the middle of the country and I see somebody living in darkness and become inspired by them, knowing that they are chopping firewood when they were living with electricity 2 weeks ago, chopping firewood to stay warm and not complaining. They're going forward, ready and willing to sacrifice in whatever way, not just militarily, in order to find victory and liberate their country. And that's, I think, one of the greatest follies that people are making, is trying to compare this to any other foreign intervention by the United States in the last 80 years, because ultimately this is an ally who has been invaded on their territory, has had what was known at one time as the second greatest army in the world. We now know the Russian army is really worthless and useless.
Welcome to another episode of RBN Live Tuesdays. I'm one of your hosts. I'm CJ. What's up, Rome? What's up, JB? Make sure you're not on mute.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good to see you.
I'm just glad we can stop all those damn lies she was spilling over there.
I don't know if you guys saw the stream yesterday, but we briefly, because we didn't have any time, we briefly covered this, like just kind of played a little bit. And I have a backstory to this person you see on the screen. I'll put him back on the screen. She actually hit me up about being on one of our panels for FHL RBN a long time ago. Yeah. And I'll show you that DM. This is just a clown show to me. I don't know. I mean, what was your first impressions of this video? Go ahead, JB.
I'm sorry, who is this?
The name of the person, her name is Sarah Ashton. That's her name, Sarah Ashton. Now, the story behind Sarah Ashton, so let me catch you up to give you context of the video.
Sure.
Sarah Ashton supposedly went over to Ukraine, was a reporter, a journalist, and then from a journalist, she enlisted in the Ukrainian army. And now she's telling, it's unreal. It's like a movie, right? And it's just telling these tales of grandeur, which she's known of doing. It's like before all of this, she had other stories, and I'll show you in my. Actually, let's go to that now, since we're talking about it, because I'll show you in my messages, Sarah. Well, let me let it speak for itself. So I think it's Sarah A or something like that. Yeah. So let's go to see more. There's a first.
Oh, this should look like mine.
Well,
Say
it wouldn't be any.
I wonder what she come on now. I wonder what she come on now. Cause you know we ain't having that bullshit. You ain't about to.
Here we
Well,
go. Okay. Can you see?
This wouldn't be any, showing this wouldn't be anything that would,
No, I'm not showing any private. No
Oh, okay,
privacy.
okay.
Nothing like
just
but just this part. Yeah, just the
okay.
part where
Mhm.
that's pertinent to the conversation. So no, I'm not showing the entire conversation.
Okay.
That's good that you bring that up. I do, even though I'm pointing this out, I do, give a little bit of respect to privacy here, to some of the other things that may not be pertinent to this conversation. So, I'm an active DSAer who believes in the need for UBI, and she was just telling me what she believed in because that was a question I had. So if you two remember, it was back when I was doing a lot of panels. And I put the call out, hey, people want to be on a panel and, blah, blah, blah. This person responded. So I think I DM'd her because it was like, retweet this and then I'll DM you or something like that. So DM her and then tell me about yourself. And this is the description. And then she says, you can also Google me. I have had significant headlines over the last month. Now, this is pre this. So the point I'm trying to make is this person, to me, has been my assessment that this person is trying to get famous at anything they're trying to do. They're trying to do anything to get famous, and they lucked upon this Ukraine thing, and now has been on the Andrew Yang podcast. So I don't know if that catches you up all the way. But it is for example, Andrew Yang is getting destroyed like ratio like times 3 on Twitter about this because it is seen that she is just literally like a laughable like comical character.
Obviously spreading propaganda. When we had, not only our government but many governments and countries come out and say, hey, if you go out and you volunteer, if you're black, if you're a minority in any way, you might be treated differently. And then you can't lie to me and say, oh, these people just love, they care, and we all want to be together and sing Kumbaya when the bombs drop. Motherfucker, that's a lie. We seen how they was treating the African people when they was trying to escape war when the shit first popped off. Are those the lovable people that you are talking about? Get the fuck out of here.
So as you can see at the bottom here, JB, 360 likes, but there's 800 comments, and it's completely just terrible. Yeah. It's completely terrible. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So this is our friend, our marijuana friend. But here is a Blue Moon friend of the show, Lucy. Use your brain, Yang. What kind of American journalist would just randomly enlist in the Ukraine army? And she puts the clown signal. It says, you're a neocon war pig supporting a regime full of Nazis that's been shelling its own people since 2004. In other words, you're a carbon copy of the duopoly swamp. Rats you claim to be different from. Utterly pathetic. And it goes on and on. I mean, I can read a bunch of these, and it's friends of ours too. A bunch of our friends are in here saying, you can see what this meme is behind the flag. I kind of like that one. Here goes Zoya. Like I said, it's friends show. You write what you're told. Thanks, corporate news. Like it is. Here goes Jason. This is an independent candidate. He participated in our third party summit. Ukrainians didn't need liberation before they and Joe Biden provoked this war. The liberation she's hearing about is from Jews, Poles, Arabs, and Gypsies, as well as Russians, because she's fighting alongside Nazis. And yes, Nazis believe in their case, as she puts out. So this is what they believe is what she's saying. Let me see. I don't think she replied to him. Jason, what world are you talking about? So you know who she is. We don't need to keep reading that, but let's go to Lucy's down here. Kim Iverson, you still support this clown and his party. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But anyway, you see where these comments are going. Nobody's buying what this person is saying. And like just the story she's telling that she's seeing Ukrainians without heat. And that's inspiring her. To see people go without heat and high inflation, that's somehow inspiring her. To me, this is a disgusting display of war propaganda, but maybe it's just me. What do you, since JB, I'm curious to know what you think, since it feels like you don't know as much or wasn't privy to this story beforehand, so you are coming in fresh.
Yeah.
What did you take from the video? Your honest, like when you were listening to that, what was your honest sort of reaction to that?
My question would be, has she read and researched about the coup that was sponsored by the United States and NATO back in 2014 against Yanukovych? Has she considered that? What about Zelensky basically suspending every single person that has a dissenting opinion about the war? What is her opinions about just them both coming to an agreement? What about
propaganda, JB? I don't know why you coming on RBN spreading Russian propaganda like we're gonna let you get away.
My question would be, what is her thoughts on Zelensky and Putin being game to come to a peace agreement, and then people like Biden and I think it was Liz Truss that were saying, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Like what is your opinion on that? Because and then my question is like, okay, if you truly believe in peace, then why are you joining either side? Because the thing is yeah, because my thing is, like, if you're a journalist is somebody that's on the outside of it. Once you join the military, you've picked a side, right? So you're going along with the narrative that Ukraine is actually in the right for this. And my thing is like, okay, have you looked at what NATO has been doing? NATO is basically an anti-communist, arm of U.S. hegemony that is pushing against the Russian border. What difference is this of the United States placing missiles in Turkey and pointing it straight at Russia, and then prompting?
We can give it a different example, because what I like to do with these people, I like to leave out, what Russia is doing, like compared to what NATO did to Libya and any other country, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you agree with the bombing of Libya? Do you agree with the bombing of Somalia? Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan?
Yeah.
No. Well, those are your people. Those are your people that you joining right now. So how don't you how can you wave a Palestinian flag and a Israel flag at the same time, right? It can't be done. You are a hypocrite. And yeah. I don't take these people serious. Like, you can't say, we're standing up for Russia. No, you're not. Russia wants to take over the world. No, they don't. If they wanted to, why not just hit the big dog? Why not just go to war with the big dog head up? They have the means. They have the power. I don't give a fuck what your news told you and how you feel about this. They do have the power to go against us. And if they did go to war against us, China will join against them. The DPRK will join with them. China will join with them. The DPRK will join with them. As we can see, Africa will join with them. So why not just go after the big dog and just knock us off the block? If this is what they wanted, if they want a world domination, we would have seen 800 military bases plus around the world. We would have seen them grabbing, kidnapping, and stealing resources from around the world. We don't. So where's all this? Where did all this sense of urgency kick in? Where did all the sense of urgency kick in when we never had it for the children of Africa, for the children of to the Middle East. Y'all got me so fucked up.
Yeah, I have an analogy here, and maybe this works. Some people may in the comments may say, "JB, you're an idiot." I'll take that critique. But when people talk about, oh well, Putin is horrible, Putin is an imperialist, and when you step outside and look at the United States and Russia, it's like comparing someone that robbed a bank. Let's say there's a Chase Bank, somebody goes in and robs the bank, they steal $2,000, right? That's like comparing them to Bernie Madoff. It's like, did they both do bad things? Yeah. But one actually, basically screwed $50 million from people, whereas another guy just stole 2,000. My question is like, who is the bigger criminal? Is Putin somebody who I align with? No, he's an anti-capitalist. He's an anti-communist, and he's a capitalist. What do I have to praise Putin for? I really don't. But at the same time, when I look at Obama, Trump, Biden, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, yes, Carter, even Carter, I'm like, they're worse.
Yeah.
They're so much worse. And I'm like, how many bases around the world does Russia have? Rome. Who passed the 94 crime bill? CJ, who was the one that is denying us healthcare in this country? And CJ, Rome. Just a question. Who was it that basically that fumbled on the pandemic? Was it Putin? So my question is like, while we're attacking people of other countries, really that's a distraction, because they want to distract us from actually looking at the sins of because the shots are coming from inside the house. Yeah. And the thing is like, look, did Putin shoot one bullet? Yes. But you got a dude that's inside the house with a semi-automatic rifle that's spraying bullets all up inside the house. Why are we pointing at the guy with a pistol outside when we got a dude with a Tommy gun inside the house?
And JB, you know what I hate the most? These ignorant Americans, USans, whatever the fuck you call them, they speak on other leaders when their leaders have a higher percentage rate. You know what I'm saying? For the public. The public love them. The people love them. Putin is what? 88%? Approval rating is like 88%. We haven't saw a president with that type of approval rating in our lifetime. Not even Obama approval rating was that damn high. So don't tell us about other people leaders, other people presidents, when your presidents suck more than any of these motherfuckers. And I don't care if you call them a dictator, if you call them whatever, how long they've been in power. See, the thing is, these people don't lie to you about not leaving actual power, because when like we all know, Obama's still controlling things. We all know that Hillary, Bill, they all still control shit. The families that still control this shit, that been controlling America, still control America. We live under corporate dictatorship. So, you know what I'm saying? They like, look, this is straight up. There is no other leaders. We are the leaders. But Americans get that they get to have an illusion of choice with this voting, like your voice actually matters, like a corporation that's worth billions of dollars gonna let you have any type of fucking advantage over them. True. If we had any advantage over them with the time and the years that we had wasted voting, why are we not in a better place? Why are we not in a better place? I mean that locally to electoral, why are we not in a better place? Stop playing with your damn self.
Sorry.
Yeah,
my brain was someplace else.
This person, so let me continue with Sarah, because like I said, she has kind of a unique, let's use that word. Okay. I'm trying to be unbiased in my words. So she has a unique background. This is one of the stories that is in her background. This is from 2021. This undercover operative says she recruited the Proud Boys for the GOP. And that's her right there. Yeah, that's her right here.
That's what happens. That's the boys.
It says a transgender poker player and progressive activist who went undercover and cozied up to the right-wing extremists, a state Republican Party desperate to see Donald Trump win, a Vegas-based GOP consultant, the Proud Boys. This is the bizarre story connecting a far-right paramilitary group to an effort in Nevada to pressure election officials to overthrow the U.S. election. So she is really part of the Russiagate. Is that it? Yeah. Prop up the that's the no, I'm sorry, not Russiagate, the insurrection. Sorry. Insurrection story is where she, I guess, maybe got her fame. In the months leading up to the 2020 election, Sarah Ashton Sharilla, I think that's it, or Karilla, and that's who we're talking about, a self-described progressive activist, embedded herself in, just like she embedded herself in Ukraine, I guess, in the GOP circles as part of her research for a book on right-wing extremism. What she found was a Republican consultant desperate to team the Proud Boys up with the Nevada GOP in order to challenge ballots and flip the presidential election. So that's her background. You know, I don't want to go into the story, but that's her on the right. Seeing her get an interview.
Okay.
But this is the background, just her infiltration of this Republican group. And
it's not an infiltration if you are welcome. You was welcome with open arms. It's not an infiltration. You didn't really uncover really anything that we didn't already was skeptical of in the first place. You know, you just went there and hung out with your friends and basically made money off of what y'all was doing because you were a reporter or whatever. But no, I'm not falling for this shit. It's just like when, like she say that she's over there in Ukraine, just like all of these other, like we have many recordings of these people faking these wars, faking being shot, faking being on the front lines. She's faking the same way that they are faking. This is all propaganda to be delivered. Because I guarantee, if she was on the ground with those Nazis and they figure out that she is transgender, she would not be here to tell this damn story. I don't give a fuck what you say to me, because they don't. It's a different culture, and even in the EU. They have Ukrainians coming out there that wants to go back home because there's too many Muslims, there's too many gay people, there's too many transgenders, and they're just not used to seeing that type of shit. So imagine being on the front lines with a motherfucker that hates your life, that got a gun and impunity to do what the fuck they want. You're just gonna end up another body on the middle of the road. You really out there on the front lines? Bullshit. Because that's what happened to the black people that was on the front lines. Remember that nigga that I think we did. He's trying to come back home. Yeah. He's trying to come back home. No, stay your ass out there. Stay your ass out there. That's what the fuck you get. And if she was on the front line, I swear she would not be on Yang fucking podcast talking that bullshit with that.
Yeah, with that that's why Yang was getting demolished, because it was like, dude, this is obviously some bullshit. Like, why would you even bring her on? And let me read a little more, because maybe this kind of speaks to more of who she is. Ashton, or Sarah, let's just say Sarah, infiltration only started last September and began with more mainstream Republican groups. She went to a September 12th Trump boat rally, and the next night she attended the Trump rally, where MAGA supporters recognized her from her days as a top flight Vegas poker player. So she was like, this is a jack of all trades. Like I said, like at anything to get famous, in my opinion. I don't want you guys to take on that. It was at that rally where she first really connected with GOP official donors. And when Sarah organized a meet and greet for the Democrat and Republican office seekers at her house, almost 100 Republicans showed up. By December, Nevada GOP state party chair Michael McDonald was in her home discussing future Republican strategy. And the next month, the Proud Boys were asking her to be a hostess for a rally in solidarity with the January 6th insurrection. She declined. So just wanted to give a little other background to that story and who she is, just for those that may not know what's going on. But it's sad to see where Andrew Yang was and how people viewed him to what he is today. It is just like a joke. I mean, I never liked him even when people liked him, but I'm just saying to go from that to like doing stunts like this is just truly
shit. We called this out before. I remember when we was FHL and that motherfucker was getting that job on CNN, or was that NSCBC? Yeah, we called this out. It's like, yeah, all these people, they're not here to really challenge power. And I seen that when he was pushing for UBI and pushing for it was some other thing that he was pushing. I'm like, no, you're not serious, because you're pushing for UBI, but your UBI program cuts off people from welfare programs. That defeats the whole fucking purpose.
Right. Yeah. One doesn't replace the other. Yeah. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah. It's just sad, because the thing is that if you're trying to bring liberation to people, but yet you side on one side of the war, you just put yourself as pro-war. Like what type of progressive are you? And here's the funny part. She says she was in DSA. If you're in DSA and you know her, should she be expelled? Because she's literally enlisted into the Ukrainian army and now she's fighting.
No, that's what they want.
It's just weird. It's just like it's just like the progressives where they stood, and basically became they crossed the picket line, so to speak, for the rail workers, and like people are like, okay, so why aren't you guys expelling the progressives from the DSA? And like you have this woman who decides to go abroad and join the Ukrainian army to fight against the Russians, and it's like, okay. So basically, you're pro-war. Why is she still a member of DSA? I don't know, but if she is, then why is she still a member? Are you going to keep her as part of the DSA? Now, then, what does that tell you about the DSA? And I'm not referring to the rank and file DSA members who are in the local chapters. I'm referring to national DSA that shakes hands with the Democratic Party. That's what I'm referring to. So it's like,
DSA came out a couple of months ago as anti-communist anyway. A lot of their people is already backing the funding in Ukraine. They're already backing World War III. So this isn't anything new, or out of their people isn't here to challenge the system. They're there to give us another door to the Democratic Party. That's true. That's they're not actually social. They're not socialists overall. They're not socialists for everybody. They're national socialists. That's what their thing is.
Absolutely. All right, let's do some announcements, and then we'll get into the funnier story of just pointing out some of the comments. So how everybody by now know how Status Coup had a thing where they brought on people like Nina Turner and Krystal Ball, but the Krystal Ball interview is the one where the comments are kind of interesting. So we'll just go and view some of the comments on that interview, and also show you in the same segment, show you a video of Bernie Sanders that I'm just curious to get both of your reaction. I've seen your reaction on Twitter, so I want both of you to speak on that part. So let's see. We have our website up. If you don't know, here's our website, revolutionaryblackoutnetwork.com. You can go check out things like what we want to do with our chapter launch, when our chapter launch is scheduled. And it's so weird because our chapter launch was scheduled in March, and we did that not even before Shama Sawant announced something and launching in March. Her chapter launches are happening in March. So maybe we'll move that back, because I do think we could be intricate parts of this new thing she's doing. Like she uses us as a reference when speaking to people. She's been on the network multiple times. So I think we can do something with her. But anyway, you can find out a bunch of stuff on our website. You can look at pictures. If you want to go find out about JB, you can go to his profile on our website, get all of his links to all of his social media. Same thing with Rome, same thing with me, same thing with Sabby and Nick. The other thing, a new email. No longer using that Gmail, so stop using that. info@revblacknetwork.com is our Gmail. So, and the other thing is, we're no longer going RBN to 30K. We have to update that because we've already hit it. And Nick has been bold enough to say that the next number is 50. He didn't say 40. He said 50. So now it's RBN to 50K is the goal. And this is where we're at before the stream, 30,500. The last two things, let's make sure we're on our Substack. We're going to be sending out the Discord link later today. So if you want that Discord link, two ways to get it. If you're a paying member of our on our Patreon, and you see that scrolling at the bottom, or if you join our Substack, that's the free way. Okay, so either way, you can get the link, and both of those will be sent out later today. Last thing, 388 people watching. Can we get to 375 likes?
Please.
Last time I checked, we were at 200. So that's about 175 more people. 175 more people hit that like button. It's the three amigos, me, Rome, and JB. So you gotta show us some love. Hit that like button. And if you didn't know, our Twitter account for RBN has been suspended for 12 hours. Not suspended, but we can't do anything but talk in the DM. It's basically, we can't tweet, we can't retweet, we can't do anything but speak in our DM for 12 hours unless we delete 3 tweets. And since I was, I just said, we can just wait 12 hours. It's not a big deal. People, and it's because we have this Substack. This is really how people are finding out our stuff. So if you're not on our Substack, you got to get on there just for things like this. Don't depend on Twitter, because we're locked out of our Twitter from tweeting anything today. Yeah. That's why it appears on my account today instead of the main account. Yeah. Go ahead, JB. You wanted to chime in, sir?
Yeah. If you love cats, Rome and CJ love cats. If you love cats, give us a like if you love cats. Because Rome and CJ are big cat lovers. They love cats. They love the kitties. They love the kitties. They love the kids. They love the kids and the kitties. So give us a like. Look, put a cat emoji in the chat to let us know that you like the video. Because in respect to Rome and CJ, the cat lovers.
We should get a shirt when we get our merchandise finally going. It'll be a picture of Rome and me and Rome, and it says "Love the kitties and the cats." Love the cats and the kitties.
Yep.
That would be hilarious. So let me share
or we can do one with cats with sunglasses on, or we got cats with sunglasses, cool cats, something like that.
Any good comments? Any super chats before we get into the stories? Let's do super chats if we have any. I know you started 1 or 2 of them, I think.
Yeah,
any
this
good
is
comments?
From Abboting71 gave us a super sticker, so thank you so much to Abboting71. And then this was a question for Rome. I know the answer too, but I just wanted to make sure I get this out. Bryce says, Rome, quick question. What time is the premiere for the documentary? Whenever you have time. Thanks.
I have no idea what are you talking about, sir. Bad vibes. February 3rd, 9 p.m. I believe it's going to be on rightbraintv.com. It's a streaming service. He actually wanted to come on again so we can play another clip that people didn't see, because what we had played yesterday, I feel like people already seen it on Twitter. So we're going to be playing. I'll probably just send him a link after the show done so he can hop on and we can play another clip of what's going on. But February 3rd, it should be dropping. We almost sold out for this screening, but if this screening do good, there will be a sequel. Excuse me. Hopefully, other members of RBN will be able to get their voices heard and get them shot, get them, what I'm saying, get their life story going. But it's doing good. It's doing good. February 3rd, 9 o'clock. I know that's a football day for a lot of people, but I don't watch sports, so fuck you.
Wait, football will be over by then.
You
talking about 9? You talking about 9 p.m. at night?
Yeah,
Eastern.
Yeah,
Eastern 6, because football will start about 3:30. It's about a 4-hour game, so it'll be ending around 6:30 ish or something like that.
Right.
So but people who would be into this wouldn't even care about something like that. Like they wouldn't even.
But
like
I'm not. I ran into a couple of you football motherfuckers. I ran into even Ron Pacone, even Kevin. He a football.
Sabby's a football fan. I played football. Like I could have went far, got a scholarship, all that stuff. I played football, and it just that after becoming just analyzing the system, it's very similar to slavery, and it's a lot of things that I just don't like. Now, don't get me wrong. Like if a game is on and I literally don't have nothing to do, I'll watch it, but I don't plan and none of that stuff anymore. Any other good comments you see, JB? I know you keep track of comments, and before we get started into the topic, we have a great community. Lots of cat emojis. I see there must be here. So that's good to see. Like a ton of cat emojis if you scroll up. It's a ton of them. So great to see that. I think we can get into the story. This is a fun story. If you see comments, toss them up. Let's get into this one here. I'll start here on Twitter because I did clip a few of them. I think 6 or 7 of the comments I screenshot and put on Twitter just for people to have something to talk about here. So let's start here, and we'll go in a row. So sort of like the Twitter files. Number 1, let's look at it. Let me throw up a banner for me if you can, somebody. Crystal Ball status coup comments or something like that. If you can make a banner for this segment. And for Aaron, we're definitely going to clip this, Aaron. I know she watches the show. Shout out to Aaron. If everybody don't know who's doing all of and we keep getting great comments almost on a daily basis about our thumbnails. If you don't know who it is, it's our editor, Aaron, and it's our only paid employee right now. If you're able to donate, please do. Let me take that banner off. Just 1 second, JB. 1 second, so they can see the Venmo right there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so they can. No worries. Because I can. So Venmo is Forever Mutual Aid, and then Cash App is Mutual Aid Forever. So that's pretty easy to remember. Forever Mutual Aid, and then Mutual Aid Forever for Cash App. Now, we will be updating those as soon as we finish getting the other accounts, because we will be updating these mutual aid accounts that we're going to be using for it. It's going to have an RBN name. But for right now, this is where we're taking donations for Erin, so we can pay her what she wants to be paid. And thank you for those that have donated. But let's now get into the story. And Aaron, this is where we'll start here.
Oh, shit. I knew it was this one.
All right. So if everybody didn't see, Status Coup, Jordan interviewed a few people. Crystal Ball was one of them. And this happens to be JB in Rome around the time, right when all this Marianne Williamson, it's still going on, but right in the thick of all the whole Marianne Williamson commotion, everybody went, of course, and kind of did a reaction video and a reaction interview. And this was that interview. Talked about Marianne Williamson, talked about third party, basically all the things that we brought up in the interview with Marianne Williamson. And the comments weren't as kind. And let's just go through some of the comments. And these are just top comments. I didn't selectively pick any. This one right here, Crystal Ball is so out of touch if she thinks browbeating people who are delusioned by our broken system is a good strategy. Marianne Williamson is not going to win in the Democratic Party, and I have yet to hear her actually say she will do a dirty break. I won't spend one more second of energy on her. And I think the browbeating reference is, if you haven't seen the interview, she basically is telling people to grow up if you're not down with this strategy. She's like, grow up. Like, and it's a very condescending sort of attitude. Any comments so far? I can keep reading a couple more here. Let's read one. Let's read two more, and I'll get both of your comments. So this one, never voting in a Democratic primary again. And here's that comment: never voting in a Democratic primary again. It's time for new strategy, one of which is the third party route. I think those are the two top comments that had the most likes that I saw, those two. And here's another one. Please, you two get serious. Here's another, or this one has two comments. The first says, Marianne Williamson has zero chance of beating the Democratic machine. Please, you two get serious. And the second one here says, weird how Krystal gets away with grifting. Just 3 years ago, to get viewers, she was saying voting blue, no matter who, was bad. Now she fully endorses it. Your comments, Rome, JV, on some of these comments here and the reaction to the interview.
I mean, that is just their that been their whole thing. Like Kyle Kalinske used to do the same thing. Then once it, oh my God, well, we need this person because they're Democrat. Okay, they might be bad, and they always do that strategy. They called out Barack Obama, then said we have to vote for him again. They called out all these motherfuckers. That's just their way of making money. They've been grifting since been grifting, you know. So there is nothing new. But I'm gonna save my real comments for after the video. But it's just really, you know what I'm saying? It's really shameful. And it's really heartbreaking when people see their worth and they grew up and they see what's going on, and people like, don't believe your lying ass ears, don't believe your lying ass eyes. Shut the fuck up and do what the fuck I tell you. Like now she's not a political commentator. Now she's not teaching. Now she's telling you what to do. You know, and even as I don't know. I'm gonna say my real comments.
Yeah. I saw the video, and I even talked about it with Due Dissidents earlier today on my channel. Yes, I had Due Dissidents on earlier, but I liken her comments to telling people in a burning building to grow up when they're screaming because they're in a burning building, and the fire department is shooting a water pistol at the fire instead of actually getting a big fire hose to put fire out. Because there is a lack of a sense of urgency with people who are in more privileged positions telling us to grow up. Because we look at the theory of change as completely and woefully insufficient, because it's like, what gains have those of us who are poor and working poor gotten since the progressives came in, since we've had Democratic Party, people in the Democratic Party? What, like, for instance, how has my life changed in a positive way? Not at all. In fact, it's actually gotten worse as time went on. That tells me that whatever gains there are, it's not happening. I remember Marianne Williamson saying that, oh, well, this is brought into the conversation. We brought all these things into the conversation. While there is some merit to that, the problem is that that's all they will do, is bring in this to the conversation to quell the masses, to calm the pitchforks and torches. We're talking about your liberation in some ways. So put down your pitchforks, put down your torches. We're talking about it, but that's all they do is talk about it. What, Rome, CJ, we're all from the hood. What was the phrase? Don't talk about it. What?
Be about it.
Right?
Be about
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to say, "Are you about it? About it?"
Yeah.
Remember
That's
that?
what that means. That's what that means. Same thing.
Right? The problem is that they aren't about it. Because when it comes time, it's always when they're like, "Oh, well, we should fight for these crumbs, and then maybe we can make a sandwich." We're like, "No, flip the table over and take the loaf." I'm sorry, I'm channeling my inner Rome right now. He's having an influence on me. But flip the table over and take the loaf. Because we're tired of begging. You've been begging and begging and begging and begging for years.
You know what I would hate
to so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would hate to be her man. Can you imagine being her boyfriend or her husband and she's just lying to you and you just catch her up in all types of fibs, white lies, big lies. She done cheated on you. And you like, I'm sick of this shit, Krystal. I'm sick of being lied to. I'm sick of you cheating on me. She like, nigga, grow up. Couples go through that type of shit. No, the fuck.
That's a good analogy.
No, the fuck we don't. She's gaslighting you. She's gaslighting you. You are telling these people, hey, my life has got worse. My family members are dead. We're losing our house. We're losing everything. My tech job just laid me off, all under the power, under the Democratic Party. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up? I'm grown. I'm grown enough to know what the fuck is going on. I know what the fuck is going on. And it's just, that shit is kind of sick. And I kind of feel bad for Kyle now that I think about it like that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
She's using her money. You know she's using her money against that nigga. You know she is, bro. You
don't want to presume, but
man.
I don't know.
People in power.
Say that, Rome. I'm not telling you not to say that.
Whether they female or male, rich people in power will hold that power over you. Rich people in power will hold that power over you, especially in relationships. I done seen it. I've been with a rich chick before. She's gonna use that money. She's gonna use that power against you. Anytime you act up, anytime oh, you're not gonna get any new shoes. You're not gonna get that new PlayStation. All right, yeah.
Go ahead, JV. You were gonna say something else.
But one of the problems I see is that whenever we post this new theory of change, it's always too extreme for some. And it's like, but it's too extreme because you're in a privileged position. That's why, because then, to the privilege, equality feels like oppression. Yeah. Because guess what? We're actually taking a lot of what you have as privilege, and we're now putting an umbrella over everybody in order for everyone to have that privilege. And for some reason, it feels like oppression to you. So it's like, but at the same time, somebody like her will push back and say, no, I want everybody to have what they have. And it's like, well, what's the quicker way to go for it? Because the thing is that I can try to drive to where CJ is in California, here from Florida. But if I really want to be effective, I'm going to take the fastest route possible, right, to get there. You want me to take this scenic route that goes up I-95, then goes Route 66, then goes down the West Coast in order to get to him. And I'm like, nah, I'm getting on a plane. I just got to get there. Look, I don't need no luggage. Just put me on Frontier Airlines and I'll take that motherfucker all the way over there. I'll just take it without no luggage. But you guys are like, look, you need the luggage and we got to get the gas and we got to get the car. And it's like, no. Bypass all that. I just need to get there. And the thing is that they're like, well, at whose expense are we going to, who is going to, people are literally going to suffer. And the thing is that when it comes to, especially the theory of change that a lot of us are being talked about, it's like, Well, of course, yeah, some people are going to suffer. But the question is, who would you rather suffer? The people who are oligarchs who are literally killing us time and time again, or the people who are already suffering? Which would you rather? Which would you rather people actually have, some pain? I'd rather the oligarchs suffer pain over this. I'd rather the people who are stenographers who for this imperialist state who are giving us pain. Because the thing is that we've been hurting for too long. So we're sitting here going, you know what? We're done with it. And so you wave your finger at us for saying that we're done with it.
Eligible for debt relief.
That started on its own. They have that automatic.
Well, I mean, it's kind of Freudian because, the fact that he started talking when I was talking about people who should suffer pain, it's a point because people like Joe Biden should be in an orange jumpsuit awaiting trial for his war crimes. The same thing with Donald Trump, the same thing with Barack Obama, the same thing with George W. Bush. And yet the people, and I love who Rome said, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Rome said, if you need a man to give you freedom, it's not freedom. You said that, Rome.
Yeah,
those bars.
No man can give you freedom. No man can give you freedom. Only you can. That's why I say I'm not here to liberate. I'm just here to teach. Your job is to liberate the damn self. Yeah.
And so that being said, we're literally trying to call for the liberation of our own selves. And you have some people going, no, don't liberate yourselves. Let them do it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If you're trying to get them to liberate us, then that means it's not liberation.
Yeah.
They just have a system of control over us.
Yeah.
And we're down.
Hey, Malcolm X, there's a couple of videos. Maybe I'll dig up one where he's saying the very same thing. He's like, you can't get freedom from anybody. It's like you have to take freedom that's yours. You can't just get it. Now, I want to include this in this segment, and maybe we'll go back to the crystal ball thing after this. This is just a short clip. I'm sure both of you, I know both of you have seen this, so.
I have not, actually.
Oh, really? I could have sworn retweeted this, but this is just sad for me to see that Bernie Sanders gotten down to this level.
Oh, that banner.
It is terrible. Let's watch. It's less than 2 minutes.
Those drapes are fucking ugly.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
American eligible.
I had it muted. Let's start over with the sound now.
Right now, over 40 million Americans eligible for debt relief are being denied that immediate relief today. Why? Because Republican officials and special interests hit us with lawsuits to block it. Folks, I know you're frustrated. I am as well.
And I am too. For millions of working and middle-class Americans who are under the burden of crushing loan debt, student debt relief would be life-changing. And guess what? Because of these Republican officials, not even one of the over 80,000 people from Delaware, where I know you're from, Joe, who applied for student debt relief or were eligible for automatic loan forgiveness have been able to get a dime of that relief.
The fact is that in Vermont, Bernie, it's over 50,000 borrowers. 50,000 borrowers. And what about bigger states? How about the state of Texas and the state of Missouri?
Well, Joe, it'd be over 2 million and close to 500,000 borrowers respectively. The list goes on.
In state after state, no matter what these Republican officials say, we know student debt relief will make a real difference for people. We're going to get it done. It's good policy. The law's on our side, and we're doing the right thing. We're going to get it done.
And I didn't hear any of these Republican officials complaining when the government gave huge tax breaks to big corporations. But here they are, stopping relief for working families.
No, we're fighting like hell to get this done. We're in court next month, so keep the faith and spread the faith.
Look at these white devils.
Stop the press! Stop the press! Stop the press! Oh! This is like, hold up, I got an analogy for y'all. This is like you have been abused by your spouse, and then your best friend, and then your spouse sit together, and then they're like, oh, look,
worse.
Somebody beat you up. I don't know, this person beat you up, and they're the ones that did it. And so we got to change this. Wait a minute. The person who did the abuse is standing right next to Bernie Sanders. He literally did the abuse. Like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Bro, who did? Bro, I'm sorry. I'm shocked because this is so stupid. Who did the bankruptcy bill that made it impossible for people to claim bankruptcy for the student loan debt?
Sorry,
Bernie, look to your left, bro. It is that guy, the abuser, the person who literally hurt us is the one that you're standing next to. And you mean to tell me, oh, the Republicans, the hell with the Republicans, the dude standing right next to you. Why are you standing next to the abuser? What? Bernie, you don't lost the plot, bro. Like, real talk. Hold on, I'm getting hot. I gotta take the jacket off because this dude really just did it. He made me hot. I can't take this. Like, bro. And then people like Marianne Williamson will talk about, oh, well, Bernie, he actually did good for us. I'm like, bro, what good is this? How can you apologize for this? This is asinine. This is crazy. This is what?
I literally thought it was an SNL skit because the way Bernie jumps out, I was like, what the? I was like, this is totally an SNL skit.
I knew some bullshit was going to happen.
That's like where
I'm gone.
I knew some bullshit was going to happen.
This is crazy. Yo, you mean to tell me that I'm sorry, CJ, Rome, did you guys just see that?
No, as soon as I seen Biden talking about debt relief, I was like, yeah, this CJ set me up. Ain't no way. I know. My body is like, hold on, what the hell? My man sitting right here.
CJ set me up. He got my blood pressure up now. CJ, you owe me some blood pressure meds right now, bro. You owe me some blood pressure meds because you done set my ass up, and now I'm reacting like this. Oh, I love you anyway, though. This is crazy.
Man, oh my God. It's so sad. That's why I said this is the funny segment. This is like, because it's sad. It's sad to see how Bernie is not acknowledging that literally Biden set this house of cards up to fall right after the election, and that's what happened. And he
still be campaigning for Republicans. He's still campaigning for Republicans. So
exactly. Like all the bad stuff that should have come out before the election. You notice how they held it all? Oh, the strike. Oh, no, we inverted the rail strike. No, that was a fake tentative agreement. And they just said that so it wasn't a strike before the election. Oh, the student debt relief. We did it. No, you didn't. You didn't do anything. That was a house of cards set up to fail. Oh, but we pardoned people. No, you didn't. That didn't affect not a single person that is in jail. That was all stuff set up just to act like
Trump pardoned some motherfuckers. Trump pardoned some motherfuckers. Trump really pardoned niggas from the hood that really was hurt by the crime bill that Joe Biden wrote. I done seen people get locked up for crack for a couple of pieces of crack. Trump pardoned them. Now, if you want to talk about pardoning some motherfuckers, then go back and look at that. But as far as any of these motherfuckers, and he ain't even take it as far as he should because most of my niggas still locked up from that shit.
Hey, CJ, Rome. Hey, I'm gonna make a quote. Remember this? We need a strong Republican Party.
Yep.
Remember that?
Nancy Pelosi said that dumbass shit.
Yo.
Let me read this comment.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you reading this one, but this is Bernie's legacy: official drool bucket cleaner and the pens changer. That's literally because they don't even treat him good. That's why I say it's so sad. Is that he comes out because you might be thinking, well, what he said is true.
It's bipartisanship.
Well, it's sad because no matter how they treat this guy and talk about him like a dog in the media, when they say, "Oh yeah, we don't believe in that socialism with that guy,"
I beat the socialists.
Yeah, we both said it. I beat the socialists. Like. And then he just comes out, yeah, what do you need me to do, Joe? I'm your friend. What do you need me to do? That's all he does. He went out stumping for him and got young people. He's the one who convinced young people of all the lies of the Democratic Party that literally fell apart, like the classified documents. You notice they knew that before the election, and they held that shit. You notice that?
They knew about Hunter Biden. They knew about all that shit.
and they held that shit. So
and it's so funny about the Hunter Biden in Ukraine, and now with all this Ukraine shit going on. I remember a story a couple of years ago that came out about Joe Biden basically bribing the government of Ukraine if they didn't do what he told them to do, which is what they prepare for right now. So yeah.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
CJ, since you and I are a little bit older than Rome's the young buck, so love you, Rome, but I don't know if you'll remember this. But CJ, remember the first Superman with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
I remember Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
I'm sure Rome has seen it, but yes, I've seen it. Uh-huh.
Okay. Remember the henchman for Lex Luthor? Hey, Mr. Luthor. Mr. Luthor.
Dumb and Dumber.
That's Bernie. That's Bernie, bro. That's Bernie. He's like, hey, Joe. Oh, yeah, we got.
Yeah, he is that character. That is true. That's a good analogy because he does play that like I'm just dumb. What do you need? Like whatever. Like that's the role he plays or he attempts to play in public. I guess that's the role he's playing now. I wasn't intending to play this video, but since Rome hasn't seen it, let's play like 2 or 3 minutes of it so you can get a grasp. And Rome mentioned that he wanted to comment on the video. So let's play just a little bit of it, and then we can move to you guys' stories before I have to leave in a little bit. So let's listen to maybe 3 minutes of her answer or something like that. So
hey, it's Jordan, joined by Krystal Ball of Breaking Points. A lot going on. Basically, we're already kind of in the 2024 circuit on both sides, and classified documents popping up everywhere, and obviously, America's.
I'm sorry, bro. Can you pause this 1 second, man? Jordan, line that shit the fuck up, bro. It's bad enough you're not the most handsome dude in front of a camera, but if you're gonna be, he need to line that shit the fuck up. He need to line his beard up. He need to do something with that shit, man. It's patchy. Grow it or cut it. If you're gonna be in front of a camera, at least present yourself like I don't know who the fuck he represent, but I'm glad he don't represent me. Shit, not looking like that.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not lined up, so.
But your beard ain't patchy and ain't big on this side and thin on that side, and no, man, get that shit together, bro. Get your life together, man. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man?
All right, so let's get back, Rome. Let's get back to the substance, and I want you to comment because I think it's gonna be triggering what she says too, Rome. I know you're triggered by his look, but I think what she says is gonna be even more triggering to you.
I kind of wanted to start with, I guess you could say, a checkup, if we were patients. Where do you think we are with the progressive movement, and what do you think is needed the most? We're not blind, obviously. It's fractured. A lot of, the Bernie movement has splintered off a tad bit and been kind of deflated over the years. Do you think kind of the best thing is a primary challenger to Biden? Do you think the best thing is focusing on the local level, or to hell with all of it and tossing ourselves into the union, organizing a workers' strike, et cetera?
I mean, I don't think any of those things are mutually exclusive. You know how committed I am to the union movement, and I think that's one of the most hopeful things going on in America. But I also think that given the fact we just saw from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that even in a year where we had monumental, potentially transformational union wins, we also continued our long-term decline in terms of overall union density, so the percentage of the workforce that are members of unions. So to me, that just reinforces that there is no avoiding getting in, doing battle, and changing the landscape so that it's not so rigged against working class people. That certainly means local office, but I think it also really clearly means a challenge to Joe Biden in the 2024 primary. I mean, it's not an accident that after Bernie, there was all this fracturing and division and the whole thing kind of falling apart. I think it matters to have national voices, national leadership. I think it matters to have a cause that people can look at across the country and ultimately get behind and unify behind. So I do think that that's an exciting prospect right now.
Obviously, right now, the main figure being rumored about is Marianne Williamson, who ran in 2020. Has stayed active since then with a podcast and going on various shows. She has an exploratory committee right now, and the Washington Post, of all places, did a decent write-up, actually. I was surprised. Here's the headline. Potential Biden challenger, Marianne Williamson, heads to New Hampshire. A recent poll has Biden not so great for the sitting president in New Hampshire. 66% of Democrats don't want him to run again in New Hampshire. Mayor Pete, or Transportation Pete, is beating him. Even Bernie and Warren are somewhat close to Biden in that poll. I ask you, to me, I understand why progressives are deflated, but you have to actually look at Biden's strength and relative weakness. I mean, COVID really did end Trump in 2020. Arguably, if he would have given another check, which later on, Trump blames Mitch McConnell for not giving an additional COVID check. Arguably, Trump could have won re-election, even though he was disastrous in handling COVID. Obviously, we know what just happened in the midterms. It wasn't an endorsement of Biden. The overturning of Roe v. Wade played a huge part. What do you think in terms of it obviously historically would be an uphill climb, but if it were Marianne Williamson, her being competitive?
There is no doubt an insurgent campaign is always going to be difficult, and the odds are always going to be stacked against you. And the DNC is always going to do everything they can to rig it against you in the media. Although, right now they sort of like the drama of Biden appearing weak and this sort of like internecine battle over the order of the primary states. Once they see you as a serious contender, they're gonna be out for blood. All of that is certainly true. However, do not buy the media narrative that Biden is some strong.
She's going to talk about Joe Biden. I want to skip this part and talk about and get to more of Marianne Williamson. So let me skip this part where she talks about that and then get to Marianne.
View is simply, I don't have a problem with a third-party candidate, but I just look at what within the last 5 years has been the closest thing to victory. For everyone's despair and deflation, not so long ago, Bernie was like on the 5-yard line of winning the Democratic nomination. I think Bernie's campaign had some self-inflicted wounds, but Bernie Sanders, I mean, remember, Chris Matthews was railing and hysterical that the Nazis were invading Paris after Bernie won Nevada. He was assumed for like a couple days that he was about to win the Democratic nomination. So it's not so long ago within the Democratic Party, an actual progressive had a chance to win the nomination. We can't really say that about a third party candidate. That doesn't mean you don't try to grow the third party movement, but what do you say to people who are critical of Marianne or anyone that's going to run again within the Democratic Party?
I think you put it perfectly, Jordan. How did Bernie Sanders do? How close did he get to the White House? How close did the Green Party get to the White House? It's simple. I mean, we don't have to, I don't know if people have noticed, there's a lot of crises going on in the world. There's a far-right movement basically trying to end democracy in our country. Working people are suffering every single day. We've got a climate crisis that's unfolding. I mean, continued insane instances of police brutality that just make you want to weep and scream and your stomach churn. And they want to wait around for some theoretical revolution. I'm sorry, grow up, get serious. This is an actual.
Pause this conversation moment for me, please. First of all, what is the definition of a challenger? Somebody who would challenge you, somebody who's going to give you a fight, a tough fight, right? That's a challenger. Marianne Williamson, Miss Williamson, she was on RBN. We gave her the chance to challenge Joe Biden, which she didn't. She stuck up for his failures. She's just like him when it comes to foreign policy. So what is the difference? What would be the difference if we was to put Miss Williamson in place for Mr. Biden? What would be the difference? Because Israel will still be getting funded. Our people will still be getting bombed. You're still going to give money to the police. You have a horrible stance on the fucking police. So what is it you are challenging besides you being a different you being a woman and Joe Biden being a man? All of you guys are the same. And let's keep it real. She have ran before. Her, Bernie, all of them ran before. She did horribly. She can't get on the national stage. She is going to fail. She is going to fail so hard. And if anybody have listened to her on national TV, she is loony and she have been laughed off of national TV before. Let's keep this shit real. She have been laughed off before. And it's funny how Krystal Ball tell us to grow up for waiting, and nobody's waiting on a revolution. We're building our revolution. You're telling people to grow up because we noticed what's going on. We noticed the failed strategy of the progressive wing. The failed strategy. That's what it is. It's a failed strategy. So why should I do the same thing over and over and over? I'm not insane. I'm not that slow to where I see that you are playing me. You're telling me to grow up. No, you grow up and stop waiting on somebody who's gonna dismantle the whole system from the inside. That's not gonna happen. You know how many people you got to go through? How many institutions you got to go through? You know how many people are operating in those fucking tables and those back rooms? You got Big Pharma. You got the military-industrial complex. Is Ms. Williamson going to stand up to them? She got balls to go against the CIA, the FBI. We seen what they did to our leaders. You grow the fuck up. You grow the fuck up. Tell me how in the fuck is that shit going to work? We throw our best swimmers in a fucking swamp with man-eating alligators. How is that the best strategy? Throw your best swimmers in a swamp. That's what you're telling us to do? Nobody's waiting on a revolution. We're building a revolution, and you're scared. You're afraid out of your mind because you're going to lose your footing. You're going to lose your place. And when people say eat the rich, they're going to notice you're rich. You're comfortable. You're comfortable enough to push against a revolution. You not only seeing the destruction, all this police brutality, what you just called out. What is Marianne Williamson going to do against that when she wants to fund the police more? What is she going to do to stop police brutality? Reparations? Oh, yeah, that's all it is. Throw money at the problem. Throw money at black people, and that'll fix the problem. No, we need to fix this whole system in order for black people to not only get reparations, but enjoy the reparations. Enjoy the reparations because my people are still in debt. My people are still in debt. So you throw money at the problem, we're going to give our money right back to the system, and we're going to be stuck in the capitalist system again. So you grow the fuck up. We seen AOC go in and fail us. You called that shit out. You called out Jamal Bowman. You called out the squad just as well as we did. So why should we do the failed strategy all over again? Because it fills your pockets? Because you can't go any further left than what you're doing right now without losing your fucking base? That's why we should grow up, or should we move right to make you white, rich motherfuckers more comfortable? No, we're going to keep moving left, and we're going to make you uncomfortable as fuck. I'm going to keep saying this. Nobody in black communities should be doing any voting, locally or electorally. The only voting we should be doing is who gets the guillotine next. My people have been voting since we have had the permission. And we're still stuck in the same conditions since we had permission. So don't tell me about motherfucking voting. Don't tell me about strategies when my grandfather died on the streets fighting for my rights that I'm fighting for my son and my grandson. You grow the fuck up because we dying out here. The fuck on. These people, I'm telling you, man, these people, they know what they're doing. She's a psyop. She got to be a CIA agent. And this is why I say be careful of these people. Be careful of the PMC. Like I told Ryan Grimm, nobody should listen to you. Nobody should trust you. You lied. You lied about forced to vote. You lied about McCarthy being speaker. You lied about the votes that they had. You lied about the power that they had. Nobody should trust you. You have nothing to fucking gain. You have everything to lose as we coming up. Because when our lives get better, your lives get worse. We don't have to come to you for information. We don't have to come for you for confirmation. We don't have to come for you to feel that void, that anger, and listen to you rant all fucking day. There will be no need for RBN. There will be no need for Krystal Ball or even a Jackson Hinkle, because people's lives are just better. You don't want that for the people. You want to keep grifting off for their pain. How many millions can these people make? How many millions can these people make before you realize that they're not serious about your fucking life? Fuck out of here.
Yes, facts. Go ahead, JB. You were going to chime in, sir.
This is actually a really good comment. The comment from Red Rebel Dragon says, I forget, what union is Breaking Point staff represented by? Same as TYT? So the thing is that to tell us to grow up, here's the problem. When you tell us to grow up, the thing is that unfortunately we had to. People like myself, CJ, Rome, Sabby, Nick, we were more adults when we were just hitting puberty than a lot of you. Because especially as poor Black kids, we had to watch our parents deal with the discrepancies in the system, the features in the system that have plagued us. I literally had to sit here and watch my mother cry because she couldn't afford the light bill or she couldn't afford the rent. I'm still, even down to this day, having to deal with housing insecurity, having to deal with my rent being paid. I still have homies coming to me going, hey man, do you have $10, $15 I can borrow? Because I'm down to my last. And then I'm literally taking donations that were giving to me and handing it over to them because they're in even more dire straits than me. And so when you tell people like me, CJ, Rome, Nick, Sabby, when you tell people who the African People's Socialist Party, who they help, the Uhuru movement, when you tell people that are constantly out in the streets helping people, when you tell us to grow up, that is extremely condescending because you're talking from a place of privilege and you don't understand our plight. In fact, to be honest, the only position you should play in this movement is a support. The people who really should be doing the movement and the direction of the movement should be the most disenfranchised people in this country. I'm sorry. I understand that you feel that the Republicans are going to be bringing in fascism, but guess what? Guess who's helping them? The Democratic Party. They are helping them. And you can talk about the progressives all you want, but this is all they're doing. This is all they have been doing. And when you look at historical analysis and you look at what happened, especially back in Italy and in Germany, right? When fascism took foothold on their countries, then you realize that the social democrats were the people who also looked the other way while the fascists took over. And so when we talk about going a little bit more extreme, it's going a little bit more extreme for salvation, for liberation, for the people who are the most disenfranchised. So guess what? We are grown up. We have been grown. It's just to a child, what grown-ups do seem illogical because they don't understand. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you to understand where we're coming from. If you want to have a conversation, then fine, have a conversation.
Yeah, fuck her. She ain't got to understand where we're coming from, because how can you grow with somebody who, okay, we got different backgrounds. We came up, she PMC, we from the hood, et cetera, but if she can't even come with the terms of people actually wanting a real fucking revolution, if she can't even come with the terms of people actually thinking like, look, something got to change, then she is an enemy and she should be treated like so. She is an enemy and she should be treated like so. No way you can tell me that we all are political commentators. All we do is look up bad things that's going on in the world, and you can't tell me that somebody somewhere isn't feeling the fucking heat for real. It might rub off on us. We might skim past it because we're just talking on it. We're just talking about it, right? We're just talking on it. but people live that shit. What do those people think? You're gonna come knock on my neighbor's door and ask them to vote for Marion. They're gonna first of all they're gonna say fucking who, and I don't vote. Then you're gonna talk about the importance of voting, and they're gonna tell you that's the same shit that my grandma said. That's the same shit that my great grandmother said. We're still living in her house and rent and raised 5 times since she died. So what can we do to help those people? What she's gonna do? The fuck out of here.
So let me say a few things because I will be dropping out soon. This segment wasn't meant to be this long, but I felt like Rome had a lot to say on his chest because he hadn't had an opportunity to. Because that we had that same reaction when the first time we heard her say that live. Like, because remember, me and Nick did this live where we didn't like no prep, we just saw it and it was like, what the way she was talking. But we clearly picked up on the same thing that both of you picked up on, and everybody picked up on. In the comments, people were saying how she was condescending multiple times, and this is what we're up against. But this is why RBN is so needed, and we were born out of this. We're born out of the necessity that there needs to be somebody saying the way the left has been going, we can't do this no more. So we're gonna move to the next sort of part of the.
We'll get some water.
Yeah, the next part, which is we'll do some announcements, do some comments. There's a lot of comments, so let's throw up a lot of comments here, JB, and give people opportunity to shine a little bit, and that'll give me an opportunity to set something up here. See some good comments.
Worry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to read this without laughing, but Wadi, my homie. Okay, Wadi says she was choking on the word revolutionary like it was a salty. Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's funny. You couldn't hear me. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Ferocious says your background doesn't impact truth. If she's wrong and you're right, it's reality, not upbringing. Yeah, I mean, because there's some people who are, and to go along with what you're saying, Ferocious, is that there are some class traders who actually see what's going on and they actually are comrades with us and go, you know what? You're right. And guess what? You guys have the floor because I have a privilege that I, can speak to that you guys just don't have. So I'm just here to support. And the thing is that there's some people who they just are blinded by their privilege sometimes. And it's sad. Let's see, Rondo says this ish is nothing more than a rhetorical exercise for them.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I think that's carnivore. A carnivore roaming around.
Yeah, a carnivore roaming around. Elephants of, I don't even know that word. Chatsiskar have always given headlines to this district for its damages and destruction of property and lives in, but it's the December, it's leopard. I don't know what that means. Unfortunately, I am sorry. I'm probably a little slow on that. Let me see. Flush says nobody really expects $45 million Karen Ball to really be concerned.
If you're a class trader, I mean, Susan Sarandon, I would think, has at least that amount from her movies, and she's a lot better at this class trader thing than some other people who claim to be. I guess.
I've met class traders, and they see what we're going through, and they recognize that they just don't have the ability to speak to what we know, and so they defer that to us, and so they defer to our, dare I say, expertise in poverty. So they're willing to do that. They don't censor themselves or censor oppressive parties like the Democrats and Republicans. Let me see. Get to the Gone says Karen Ball is comfortable leave her alone. She will lead us fascism along with the bread food. Damn.
Let me, JB, after a few more comments, I'll do a couple of announcements, and then whoever wants to start with their story.
Well, I do have something that I want to show you. Because I want you to stick around, CJ, for this, because it's actually very interesting. I want you and Rome to be here for this. But yeah, so and by the way, Rome, Casey, love you, Rome.
I love Casey. She helped me out there. She helped me out on Tour for the Poor. Yeah, so that was right. I needed some help out there in Buffalo, and she held it down for me.
All right, Casey, I see you, homie. Okay, go ahead, CJ. I don't want to interrupt you too much.
Okay, I'll just shoot out a couple of announcements. Make sure you Substack is it. If you want to get our Discord, we're sending a link out later today. Get on our Discord by joining our Substack. That's the free way. Or the one scrolling at the bottom if you're a paying member, $3 member, $2 member, $4 member every month. You also get the link to our Discord. So that's the two ways, the monthly support way where you're supporting us financially, and then the free way for those that can't afford that. Two ways to get that Discord link. So make sure you do that. And make sure you like this video. We're almost at 600 people watching. So let's get to 525 likes. The last time I checked, we were at 450. So another 75 people. If another 75 people hit that like button, that will get us to the right amount we want to get to. And I'm going to drop to the back, and this is going to become the Rome and JB hour for this last little section. Rome and JB has some stories to finish us out. I have to leave to go get my daughter from school back to the regular schedule. So, gentlemen, I will be watching. If you happen to be on when I get back, I will be joining again. I don't know how long you're gonna go. If you happen to be on, I will be joining.
Yeah, we're gonna do another preview of my documentary. So
okay, I'm likely to be able to join. So right now, though, it's the Rome and JB hour. As I drop out, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right. So everyone, I wanted to show this, and this is only a 3-minute video. I hope that CJ will be able to keep listening, but this is also really cool. I saw this today, and this was an interesting TikTok, and I want to get your thoughts on it, especially Rome, because this is actually a really good idea. And I hope to get this young man on one day in order to talk about this, but let's go.
Nice to meet you. My name is Terlin Braden, founder and CEO of the Friend of Felon app. It is America's first and only felony-friendly job and housing marketplace app. I would like you to think of the app as like Indeed for felons, apartments.com for felons, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for felons. It has its own wraparound resource center so people can transition back home into society smoothly. I come to you today to talk to you about the lack of resources and opportunities that I have been able to find for these justice impacted individuals. I built this whole app by myself. Well, me and a good friend, we built this app with no money, just focus hope. We haven't had any investment. We learned how to build the apps on YouTube. We didn't go to school for this, just passion and focused hope. Basically, as of now, we have 5,100 users on the app, and we have like maybe 250 job posting users. With that being said, it's not a lot of opportunity for the people that we have on the platform. And I feel like I have been very quiet and not talking about this issue. I've been just trying to figure it out because that's what I do. But I can't see I can't just watch what I built just go to waste because I'm not a camera type guy. I tell people all the time that I'm a Pippen. I'm not a Jordan. You still balling, but I'm just not a star type guy. I like to play the background. But I really need to find these opportunities for these people. I am one of these people. I was convicted of a felony when I was 18 years old. I'm now 29. I still can't find opportunities for myself. I built this app because I needed to make opportunity for myself. This is literally all I have. I literally learned how to build apps to build this app. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. It brings me great joy to help people. Now, if you guys can help me push this platform, that'd be great. People coming home from prison, they come home to nothing, and it's not fair that they can go do years when they're supposed to be rehabilitated, come home with no job skills, come home with nothing, and be expected to just be a working member of society and not get in any trouble. It makes no sense. So I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change the stigma in our neighborhoods, trying to change everything for the youth. I'm trying to change the world. I got to start here first. So thank you for listening to what I have to say, and God bless you. Share the Friend of Felon app, available in all app stores. Just type in Friend of Felon. You could just type in Felon. It's the only app in the app store with the word felon in it. It's ridiculous.
I guarantee.
Thank you much. Have a good one.
This is what's up, man, because this is how we make sure, you know what I'm saying, people come out to something. Like I have seen too many of my people go in for misdemeanors, even felons, and come out with nothing. You know, they can't be around certain family members because those family members have felonies. You know, you can't get a job. You can't get a good paying job. More likely, you're going to be at a restaurant. You're going to work at Home Depot, et cetera, et cetera. And then that's if you're on parole, you definitely not getting a damn house in your name. So it's good to see people, you know, actually coming together, especially a young black man, seeing what we have been through. We are still a minority in America, but a majority in those behind those bars. And once people be released, it becomes a revolving door because we have nothing else to go to. And growing up in a neighborhood, you know, growing up in crime and whatnot, we spent half of our life in a hood, half of our lives in prison. And once we go back to the streets is nothing like how you remember. Like even I haven't did that much jail time to where I didn't see my neighborhood decay. I was out, I seen my neighborhood decay. A lot of people do years, 15, 20 years, they get out. It's nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing like they would thought it would be. It's way worse. There's no opportunities out here, and they end up going back to prison because that is all that they know. That's all they knew for half of their life. But it's good. It's good that somebody's actually doing this, man, because we need to put our first foot forward. And that's what I mean by everybody has a place in the revolution. You don't have to be on the front lines. You don't have to be punching cops. You can make a fucking app to find people housing. You can make an app to to connect nurses, to connect certain doctors that's not driven by capitalism, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody has a place. And even though himself said, look, I'm not the camera dude, but I have to get this out there. You're gonna have to get your word out there. Everybody isn't a camera guy, but in order for you to get people to listen, especially today's age, and in a world of social media, you have to be social. You have to be social. You have to let people know what's going on. And I congratulate him on his success, and I hope that he get 1 million users, and 50,000 job listings on that damn thing, because we need all the help that we can get for our people.
Yeah, definitely. And I came across this and I was just like, man, as someone who has family members who have been in the carceral system, when it affects the families as well. I know what it's like to have to send money to put on somebody's commissary. I know what it's like to have to pay for that phone bill that they charge you up the wazoo for, when you're calling your incarcerated loved one. I know what it's like to not get a call from them, and it's because they've been on lockdown because of something that may have happened. I know what these things are like because I literally had to live through them as a family member on the outside. And the system is not fair, but that is a feature, not a bug. And the fact that this young man was able to, and him and another person were able to build this app, it shows that this young man was failed on purpose. That's the system. They failed him on purpose in order to keep him in the system because they want him to be part of that recidivism. And recidivism basically means people who reoffend and go back into the carceral state.
Yes.
So they want somebody like him back. And remember what I said in a meeting room? I quoted I said a quote by Albert Einstein. I'm gonna say it here. Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking that it's stupid. This young man was smart enough to educate himself into building an app to help people who are in the carceral state so that they can actually get jobs so that they can uplift themselves. By that very notion, it is genius idea. And I hope that this young man continues success in this, because people like my loved ones, my family members that have gone through this, and like Rome, like your family members that have gone through this, they can actually be built up. And we need people like this. You don't have to be a person on the front lines like Rome says. You can be somebody in the background that helps, does support. You could be a teacher. You can bake pies for the revolution. I like apple pie. Look at me. I'm fluffy. I love apple pie. Put it with some vanilla ice cream. You know, see? But the thing is, yeah, you know, put a little whipped cream on it. But but the thing is that you're doing it for the people because you're doing it out of love. Revolutionary acts is a rebellious act, but it's also a loving thing to do. And what this gentleman did was a loving thing. It was a labor of love. So, friend of felon, I would like to see about getting this app on my phone. I got to clear out a few apps because my phone's a little taken up. But that seems like a really good idea. And if you guys want to give that support, over 500 of y'all watching, y'all can at least check out Friend of Felon in the app stores and see about getting it so that we can help people who may be in the carceral state to get some form of liberation, at least some respite from what this system does to them.
Peach cobbler for the cause.
I love it. Oh, peach cobbler hit though, Rome.
Oh yeah, I love peach cobbler.
Oh
peach,
yeah,
peach fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Peach, pears. I can't eat a lot of fruits. I'm allergic to a lot of fruits.
Really?
I'm allergic to a lot of fruits. It wasn't always like that. I'm allergic to bananas, kiwi.
Well, I mean, you are a straight guy, so. See, this is why they shouldn't have let me and Rome be by ourselves on this stream. But
I can't eat watermelon anymore. It's crazy. Like I just developed I just became allergic. I remember we used to eat that stuff all the time. Now it breaks me out. I get highs. Last time I ate a banana, my throat was like fucking hives up. I almost died.
You got asphyxiation. Yeah. That's what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, bro.
It's all good.
That sucks, man.
No more banana pudding for me, man.
Oh, don't say that. That hurts.
I haven't had
hurts, man.
Banana pudding in 22 years, I want to say. 22 years.
God. I want to hug you right now, man. Everybody need to give Rome a hug because no banana pudding. Oh, woo, bro.
No banana bread, none of that. I can't even have artificial.
Oh my God, that sucks, bro. We need to get you. We need to get you to Cuba to see if we can cure this, man.
It's probably just the American foods. It's probably just the American foods. Probably all the pesticides and all that bullshit they be spraying on their fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Tomatoes tomatoes used to be my favorite fruit. And now I can't even, I can barely eat a tomato nowadays.
Oh, man, you can't even have grilled cheese with tomato?
Crazy.
Damn.
Somebody saying GMOs. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it ain't right.
Man. Yeah. Well, all right, so I'm going to go to another one. You sent a couple TikToks.
Yeah.
That you wanted me to react to. I haven't watched them yet, so Let's see.
I think everybody will like these. So yeah, I love stuffing. Yeah, of course, I'm black. But
All right.
yeah. I think everybody will love these. One of them is about capitalism. If you can play that one first.
Which one?
One of them is about capitalism. It's about a whole bunch of kids. If you click it, you will see a whole bunch of younger kids talking. It's some older people in there too. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me.
And then the other one is an update on the Nichols case, because we found out there are more than 5 officers that is involved. It's actually like, I think it went from 5 to 7 to 12 people that was actually involved with everything that was going on with this case. So yeah.
Okay. I think this is it. Hang on. Let me share my screen and see if it's the same one.
If you see a black dude talking in front of the camera, that's not it.
If I see a black dude talking in front of the camera, that's not it?
Yeah, that's not the one. That's the second one.
Oh damn. Okay. I think I might have missed that one.
Lies.
You said it. Let me make sure I got the right one. You said it was a bunch of kids. No, that's a black woman on the front. That's not the one.
All right, I think that's the first. I think that's the one that we
with a black woman on the front.
Yep, it's 2 women talking first.
Oh no, it's not. Hang on.
I can still eat tomatoes, but not like that. I get my tomatoes homegrown now. I go to my friend's garden and I try to get some tomatoes. But if I do get some, I can't eat the whole thing.
This one starting with like the back of a car. No, I seen that. I think I've seen that one before.
Oh, let me see. Did I actually send it to you?
I don't know if you did. I'm in the chat.
Yes, to our group chat.
Oh wait.
Okay, I'm about to send it to you again.
Hang on. Hold on.
Sorry about this, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sent it.
Oh, you just sent it? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, growing vegetables isn't difficult. It's just all about the tools. You just need tools, man. Tools is a big part. Like, you can get out there, you can do it with your hands and stuff like that. But if you want to feed your community and stuff like that, you need tools. Like, it took me a minute to gather up enough tools to actually take care of a community garden. That's why I didn't get started as soon as I got the plot, because I was like, okay, I got the land. What do I do now? And I started looking up what to do, and it was like, I was in way over my head, and I took a couple of donations from some comrades. They got me a standing standing lawnmower. They got me a mulcher, some rakes, hoes, bitches, party. No, I'm playing. But they looked out for me, and I think this summer we should be able to get it all together. So.
All right. So is this it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't see this one, so let's go.
I don't want to do anything to make money. I don't want to.
Just find it so terrible that at the young age of 23, I'm ready to check out. Like, I don't want to do anything at all.
seen this.
I don't want to work because my money's not mine. I don't want to go to school because I feel like I'm getting a degree for somebody else. Like, I don't want to do anything. And I feel like that's so sad.
Having my regular meltdown and realizing I'm never going to escape capitalism. And I'm just going to be a cog in the machine of productivity for my whole life. So.
You know that numb feeling that you have now? Like that sense of ambivalence? Like you're kind of just going through the motions?
In my world,
and pretending like this is just life. I was at work today and I said, I can't believe that our parents and our grandparents and everybody else before them worked
and go to
every
work
day of their fucking life
for the rest of our lives.
Same fucking monotonous,
5 days
boring
a
ass
week
shit.
to
40
earn
plus hours a
2
week
weeks of
just to
vacation.
retire at the ripe age of what, 60, 65, 70, where they literally can't enjoy the money that they have made.
Quitting and that this generation doesn't want to work. The reality is many of us that are in my age or a little older, a little younger, are working jobs that do not care about us as people. And I'm going to say that again because I think that's a very, very important distinction that a lot of people are forgetting. I am not going to fucking kill myself over a job that doesn't care about me as a human being. I am not going to put in a 60-hour work week and pull myself up by my bootstraps for a job that does not care about me as a person.
Pushed to their limit. Like, people are exhausted. If you work a regular job, even if you don't work a regular job, the constant stress of having to worry about how to make ends meet.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all.
I go to work so that I can afford my house and my car, and I have to have my car so I can go to work. We all live so isolated from each other, so instead of, like, sharing resources, like sharing a car so you can get to work, so that everybody doesn't have to have their own fucking car that drives to the same place every day and then sits in a parking lot all day.
We do not want to spend any more of our time selling stuff to people. We want to spend our time on something that feels good for the collective. I want to help people.
What's wrong with capitalism? The first question. Well, on one level, and this may strike you as a bit contradictory, nothing's wrong with it. And what do I mean? I mean that it's working the way it always has. It is pursuing profits. The people who own and operate the businesses of the United States, the factories, the offices, the stores, are looking to make a buck. They're doing business the way they always have.
I wanted to talk about this because I had mentioned a couple of days ago. Can you imagine how our children are going to live? Can you imagine the generations up under us? How are they going to live with us gone and us not fighting correctly, us not teaching correctly, and showing them the steps to liberation? If we was to leave them right now, if we are feeling this way, if the Generation Z is feeling this way, I feel so bad for Generation Alpha and under, because they're going to have it way worse.
Yeah.
We're going to have it so much worse than we can ever imagine. We think these are dark times, but dark still shows light. You can still see in the dark. You can still see in these dark times, but in the times coming, it's going to be pitch black for these children. It's going to be pitch black for the generation. They have no future without us fighting, without us actually leading and fighting for a change. This isn't just something that RBN made up. I never seen any of those people a day in my life. I'm pretty sure they probably never heard of RBN, never heard of me or any of that. We all are feeling this way. Majority of this country is feeling this way. We are not alone. When you feel like you want a revolution, nobody else out there want a revolution. Many people, I'm pretty sure over half of Americans want something new. They just need to know what is going to come after the system is overthrown. And with the generation up under us looking at socialism, this is our time to lead. This is our chance to lead. We have so many soldiers that's ready to fight. Look at these kids. and these adults who's ready to give their everything because they know that they cannot survive capitalism. They know they cannot survive. So what would they give to have a better life? Everything. What is everything? Everything. Because why should I just stick around just to be like the young lady said, a clog in a machine? You just sticking around to be a clog in a machine, then you're going to end up killing yourself from depression. You're going to end up drowning yourself out, trying to escape capitalism with drugs, with Xanax and booze, and you cannot survive. And we need to show these children that they have an army, they have people that's politically minded and ready to go out and make this world a better place. We have to show people that we are teachers, we are healers, we have their back. Because one thing that we didn't have as millennials is the backs of the previous generations. It's the generations before us. Not saying all of them, but the majority of them did not have our back. They did not have our back, and now we are just fucked. Now we are fucked. But we got to show them that it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be a fighter. It's okay to be a fighter because I got your back. And when I saw this video, it warmed my heart because sometimes I do feel lonely out here. Sometimes I do feel like I'm one of the only ones saying revolution over reform. But I'm not alone. There's millions of us out
there. Yeah. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a story. And this I actually have seen this video before, but I never shared it because it breaks my heart. But this was a few years ago, back when I worked for a large department store. And I was coming out of somewhere. I think I was coming out of the back room. And I was going back to my position because I was in the electronics department. And I was standing there and I just started bawling. I was in tears. And because I was just tired, here I am. And yes, I've been on dialysis for 15 years. So yes, I was on dialysis at this time. And I was just bawling in tears because I was just so exhausted. And I couldn't even verbalize how I was feeling. It was just this fatigue that overcame me. And you feel like you're on this hamster wheel that you just can't get out of. And you're being sucked dry of all your energy. And
you know what the kids call that? You know what the kids call that nowadays? They call that the capitalism cry. Yeah. Capitalism cry. When you just can't take, you don't even know what you like. This remind me when I was walking home from Chrysler. Yeah. Walking home from Chrysler. You hear that? Do that make sense? No, it don't. I was walking home from working at Chrysler. Wow. It was winter, and I had holes at the bottom of my shoes. Can't afford no shoes. Got to buy my kids shoes. This and that. Pay the bills, and I'm just like, I got my paycheck. I'm looking at my paycheck. It's $800. I'm just like, I can't do nothing with this. Like, this shit is gone as soon as it's spent. I'm walking past the train track. That's all I remember is the train came so fast. The motherfucker, I tried to run, and it was just like that. That was just a straw. It was like, man, I just can't take it no more. Like, I just can't take this shit no more. There's no way we're gonna survive without me working at Chrysler, selling weed, selling my ass, doing this, doing that. I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I'm outside the motherfucker. I'm yelling like, I can't take this shit no more. And it be like that. It be like that because people. They just feel like we just hamsters on the wheel. Go ahead and pay your bills, get your ass back to work. You don't get to enjoy your life. You don't get to enjoy your kids. You don't get to enjoy nothing. Get your ass back to work and hope and pray you don't miss a fucking day because your ass about to be evicted if so.
Yeah. People in the chat, people are all watching. I want you guys to also put your experiences in the comments. Now, if this triggers you, then please don't do it. But what was that moment, that capitalism cry What was that moment for you? And I want you to take that moment and I want you to use that as fuel to fight against the system that made you cry. Fight against the system that will make your kids cry, your nieces, your nephews, your little brother, your little sister, your little siblings. I want you to use that energy, because the thing is that we should not be going through this at all. I literally am at my wit's end right now. I know you guys are too. And the thing is that the problem is that this is too usual. It's too often. But I also have hope, because if the kids are vocalizing how tired they are, then it's up to us, millennials, Gen X, and some of us who are boomers that are still in this fight, for us to look at them and go, you're not crazy. You're not mad. This system is actually rigged against you. Let's come together. Let's change it. And I just feel bad because sorry, go ahead.
I love how they losing the narrative, man, because see, real life people want socialism. That's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? We are seeing the real minority. The real minority of people wants to keep the system in play, but on the ground, the workers, the homeless people, they want full revolution. They want full change. There is no. This is the real. We are the real majority. The real majority wants change overall. See, what they try to do is they try to fill our brain with all this bullshit and people that's not even real. People on the internet talking about, oh, you should want socialism, capitalism is the best way. Half of the time these people are even real. But you see these children, you see these people, those tears, that was real. Those stories, that was real. You can see them, you can feel their pain. They're telling their stories, you can relate. You can relate. We are the majority. Socialists, communists in America, we are the majority. Nobody on a large level in America is looking at all these people starving to death, freezing during winters, no infrastructure for the people. Everything is getting privatized. Healthcare is getting privatized. They're going after Social Security and they say, this is a sweet deal that we are getting. Why do you think half of the other majority of the country that's eligible to vote don't vote? They just don't. They could, but they don't. Because why waste my time when I got to waste enough time fucking working 8 to 12 hours a day for this capitalist? You know, but they're losing their grip. They're losing their grip on the narrative. And what these kids are showing you is that we are the real majority on the fucking ground. The workers, the people, we are the voice. And it's going to be, when I'm telling you, it's going to be, they've been pouring gasoline on us for so long. One person is going to have a spark and all of this shit is going to burst into flames. That's how long they've been pouring gasoline on us. And when all this shit go down, when one motherfucker have that spark, I guarantee we're going to see a revolution. We're going to start to see a revolution. It might not be a revolution national wide as, you know what I'm saying, the whole nation or whatnot. It might be a domino effect, but you're going to have people calling for a change, and people are going to be willing to live and die for that change, because I have nothing else to live and die for. You took my house, you took my job, you took my kids, they're in a foster home. I have nothing else. What can you take from me?
Yeah.
And when those people get a whiff of something in the air, a change in the air, shit, I feel sorry for these. I don't feel sorry for them, but I'm saying, when you see them motherfuckers crawling over your fences, when you see them motherfuckers throwing mattresses over your fence, they got them spike fences, and throwing covers on your shit to infiltrate your properties, oh yeah, you better watch out. But you did it to yourself. They did it to themselves. We could have helped the people. We could have helped the people. They had multiple chances. It's like Tupac said, we all hungry on the porch and they throwing fucking parties. They throwing salamis all over the fucking place. You knocking on the door. We knocking on the door. Now we banging. We banging now. Now we about to get to the point to where he said, all right, we about to kick down the door and just start busting.
Mm-hmm.
And start taking what's ours. Why not?
Yeah. 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 I got something that I want to share. So I'm going to share my screen really quick because this actually has something to do with what you just said. And this has actually gotten some traction on TikTok. I hope that a lot of people watch this because, well, I think what I said was true. But let's listen.
What's the end game here? Like, what is it they're going for?
Slavery. The fulfillment of capitalism is slavery. That's basically it.
That's it.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Basically.
Better yet, we should start saying this. I will own you and you will obey. That's what we should start saying. That's these it ain't about owning the damn thing, but you. They got you. They got your mind, your body, and your soul. They got your mind, body, and soul trapped in the booze, trapped in the drugs, trapped inside their walls, whether those are prison walls or those are worker walls. They got your mind, body, and soul trapped. Take yourself back.
Yep. So, the next one, was there a particular next one that you wanted me to show?
I believe it was probably the first one that you had seen. It was really an update on the Nichols case. I can send it to you over just to make sure that you get it.
Let's see. Oh, it's the first one. Let me see. I think there's a black man in front of an article.
Yep. In front of an article. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure. All right, so let me share my screen because we just hit 2 hours, so I just want to make sure we get this as quickly as possible. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Y'all, this is crazy. White Kansas high school students threaten to hang black players, taunt them with.
I'm sorry, this is not the one. I was saving this for next week. For tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a preview. Okay. Let me see.
I got it right here. Hold on.
Is it the guy that goes, "Hey, good morning"?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. I was just like, okay.
I just sent it to you. Yeah, just
I think it's a dark-skinned man that says, "Hey, good morning."
Yeah.
Everybody says that I look like him for some reason.
Y'all kind of do look alike.
I
think all black people look alike. No.
This guy, he's pretty cool. I'm actually subscribed to him on TikTok, so he's pretty cool. So let's go.
All right.
Hey, good morning, and what a difference a day makes. Just 24 hours ago, we were wondering if more than 5 officers were involved in the beating death of Tyre Nichols. And today we find out, it's 7. 7 officers were involved in the beating of Tyre Nichols, and all of them have been relieved of duty in some way, shape, form, or fashion. According to a statement from the Memphis Police Department, on January 8th, just one day after Tyre Nichols died, 7 officers were relieved of duty. That means Chief Davis lied when she stood in front of the world and told us that 5 officers were involved in the beating death of Tyre Nichols, when she knew good and well 2 more officers were involved, but for some reason she decided to hide their identities. And like my mom always say, what's done in the dark always comes to the light. And we found out that Officer Preston Hemphill was the 6th officer who was involved in the beating death of Tyre Nichols. Now, Preston here was one of the first officers involved in the beating death of Tyre Nichols. Not only did he say, "I hope they stomp him out," but he also tried to tase him on multiple occasions. He's seen here attempting to fire his taser into the genitals of Tyre Nichols. That's one leg there, that's a knee there, and that gun is pointed right at his nuts. Now, Hemp Hill and another officer's identity were kept secret while they were relieved of duty. But what does relieved of duty even mean? Well, legally, it means someone who's awaiting disciplinary procedures, an employment condition during which a member is not required or permitted to perform assigned duties, but retains pay status. That means 2 officers got a paid vacation while 5 officers were fired, arrested, and placed in jail. Meanwhile, the Memphis Fire Department got rid of 2 EMTs and a lieutenant because they did not meet the expectations of the Memphis Fire Department because they failed to render aid in a proper manner. And 2 deputies from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office have been given paid vacations pending an investigation as to their role in the beating of Tyre Nelson. So that's 7 police officers, 3 members of the fire department, and 2 sheriff's deputies that are some way involved in the death of Tyre Nelson. That's 12 people. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now get this. The police chief says she doesn't understand why Tyre was pulled over in the first place since he broke no traffic violations. But word on the street is Tyre was dating one of the officer's ex-girlfriends.
Pause. Because now this is a lot to unwrap. You know, TikTok is fast-paced. It's a lot to unwrap here.
Yeah.
There were more than what we had originally seen. And when we look, and one of the first body cameras that was released, it was actually from a white person camera. And as I was watching it, I'm like, this is not a black man. This is not a black male voice. You know what I'm saying? Not to say like, oh, I know some white people that sound black and white people that sound, no. Look at the skin color. Look, you know what I'm saying? The voice, but I'm like, that is a white person. Mm-hmm. Now that it come out, 2 other white cops, and you see the narrative that they tried to put it, they did not want us to rise. So it was like, look, it's black on black crime. It's black on blacks beating each other. No, it's just the police beating on black people. It's just the blue beating on the black. And you would never guess why they murdered this boy. Why they murdered him. It wasn't because of he was a criminal and he deserved it. I'm a criminal. Do I deserve to die? I break the law every day. Actually, I make sure I break at least 5 laws a day. Should I die? Right.
Police chief says she doesn't understand why.
You go ahead. I just want to see. This is why this young man life was taken away from him. This is why this young man life was taken away from him from this game. Can you press play for me?
Yeah, sure. Got it.
Tyre was pulled over in the first place since he broke no traffic violations. But word on the street is Tyre was dating one of the officer's ex-girlfriends. Now, it's alleged that he didn't like the fact that Tyre was dating one of his exes. So
he fucked this bitch and he jumped him. He got his crew, his gang, to jump him and killed him. And you want to know why they was taking pictures of this man? They wasn't taking pictures of this man because they were sending it to the EMTs. They wasn't putting his they wasn't going to Google and say, hey, what to do if we beat somebody half the fucking death, handcuffed. He sent them pictures to his ex and said, is this your boyfriend? Is him? This is why that man lost his life. He lost his life over vagina and a weak ego.
So basically, it was a revenge plot.
Yes. They pulled him over. They knew exactly who he was. They knew exactly what kind of car he drove. They knew where he worked. They plotted against this man and they killed him because the police officer can't take somebody else in his fucking pussy. This a little bit more. Press play.
This is deep, bro. Okay.
That he didn't like the fact that Tyre was dating one of his exes. So he stalked the man, learned his schedule, and stopped him 1 block away from his mother's house, pulled him from his vehicle, beat him, and encouraged officers to beat the man. That's why you could see him taking pictures of him at the end of the beating, because he was taking pictures and sending him to the ex, showing, look what I can do to your boyfriend, allegedly. True, that shows intent, premeditation, willful misconduct, and dereliction of duty. Hey, good morning.
Yo.
These are the people that's patrolling the black neighborhoods, black or not. Because once you put that fucking badge on, you are no longer a black citizen. The cops treat you differently. The laws treat you differently. The government overall treat you differently. If they're treating you differently, then you are a black man. Then you are no longer considered a black man. And as a black man, I know it. I fucking know it. So this is how they tried to get us not to riot. They left out the whites. They left out that it wasn't just black on black crime. They left out that it was the whole force out there plotting against a black man to kill him. It was white cops and black cops. And people say, oh, I had the same energy for all cops. I do. I fucking do. But you see the narrative they try to push, and that's why they said, please protest peacefully. No, because you know when the truth gets out there, the people are going to be pissed the fuck off. And not only was it 5 cops, it's 12 people, including EMT. We should be burning that motherfucker down. We should be. They don't deserve to have a city to fucking patrol.
Yo, this is what your tax dollars are going towards. For dudes to come out and retaliate because he's jealous. Your tax dollars paid for a retaliation over jealousy from a police officer. And so he decided to kill a man. And here's my question. If this dude was willing to beat Tyre Nichols to death and then take pictures of him and send it to his ex, what was he doing to his ex? Why is that ex an ex? Remember, 40% of the spouses and partners of police officers reported domestic violence. If this man's willing to beat a man to death and then send it to his ex, what does that tell you about why he's an ex? What does that tell you? I'm sorry. Maybe, just maybe, this system is so corrupt that it even hurts the people who are the loved ones of the people who are in that system. Now, let me ask you this question. Why don't we defund the police? Why don't we abolish the police again? Also, don't come at me because the police officers were black, because, and like Savvy says all the time so eloquently, when you're a black police officer, you are a cop first and you're black second. Your blackness no longer applies when you put on that badge and gun.
You only black when you back in your street clothes and your motherfuckers at your department don't recognize your black ass no more. That's the only time your ass is black. And that's the only time you're going to talk about being black. Because when it comes to being black in a black community and actually policing black communities, you act worse than the white motherfuckers. You act way worse than the white motherfuckers. I'd have had some black cops that tried to fight me in front of, because I'm mouthy, okay, I'll give you that. But you trying to fight me, and white cops like, hold on, man, you taking it, chill out. You try to act out. They try to act out. Black police show out for the white cop all the fucking time. They feel like they got something to prove. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm not ghetto. I'm not one of them, right? Who are you then? Who are you then, right? And this is why I had to explain to my friend about people who used to make fun of him because of he used to talk white. I'm just like, no, we didn't make fun of you because you talk white. We made fun of you because your family made you stay away from being actually black. Your dad was a fucking cop. Your mom was a fucking lawyer. It wasn't that you talk like this. It's that every time you talk to us, you talk down on us. You look at us like we're ghetto. You talk to us like, oh, we're speaking in Ebonics and Ave. We're not speaking correctly. We're not speaking professional, right? That's talking down to a motherfucker. And that's the same type of shit that them motherfuckers on. You're black. You only black when them motherfuckers don't recognize your black ass no more. That's the only time. Like we have all these undercover cops get their ass whooped by their own police department. Oh, we didn't know it was you. Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet, because that's all you see is blue. That's all they see is blue. And all you gonna see is black and blue when they done whooping your black ass.
Well, that's true. And unfortunately, I used to be one of them black dudes that used to say, oh man, if you guys just spoke more correctly. I used to be that guy, right? I'm not anymore because I realized that's all, tied to white supremacy. But the thing is that, I was one of them. I used to be one of them, pull your pants up, dude. Like, if you want people to respect you, boy, you should pull your pants up. Well, even if you pull your pants up, they're still going to shoot you in the back.
Your ass. You going to pull your pants up for what? So you can run better?
It's crazy. So, was that the last one that you wanted to do for today?
If you want to stick around, we're about to show another preview to this movie. Kevin, thank you for coming on. I know you just got up. Kind of sent this to you out of nowhere. But the documentary is called Death to America. Is from my lifetime, about my life and how I came up and whatnot. But it's nice to have you here, Kevin. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Woke up about 30 minutes ago. I was going on almost 30 hours, no sleep. Nice to see you, Jay. It's like the first time we've ever met each other. Yeah, there was a lot of 30-hour nights working on this just straight. So,
the dedication.
Yeah, well, it's a good project, and that's how you know, is you really feel like you're into it. I know that we're moving on, but could I just say real quick about the police stuff, man? I think,
sure.
I even have police in my family, and they're nice people and everything. But the Fraternal Order of the Police are nothing more than they're like the mafia's lackeys, if the mafia's the Congress and corporations. They're here just to protect them from us. They're the one thing, them in the military, from keeping us from overthrowing the government. I mean, really. And just like the mafia enforces, if you can't pay the tax or you don't have money, you don't get protection. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? The poor people get preyed on and they'll pull you over and go in your pocket for a bullshit ticket. And that's just their way of taxing you. I think that, fuck the police, man. Hate those motherfuckers.
Yeah, fuck them, man. We don't need them. We need a new system. So
if I can just get to some, house cleaning things, we need to get to some of the super chats and things like that before we move on. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I actually need to go smoke my other half a cigarette before we get started. Y'all, do not go nowhere. We're gonna play another clip. We're gonna play up to another clip that you guys didn't see. I know you didn't see this. We have played the clip, and I looked on Twitter. I said, "Oh shit, everybody already seen that." So we're gonna play a clip that you guys didn't see. We're gonna play a couple of credits and whatnot, but it's gonna be good. I think you guys are gonna love it. So don't go anywhere. JB about to do some house cleaning. Like the stream. Follow my dude Kevin at rightbraintv.com or rightbrain TV on Twitter, and we can keep this movement going, man. We keep this thing going. We need all hands on deck. Especially we are independent journalists and streaming services, so we're gonna need all the help that we can get.
Can I just say one thing? It's rightbrainstudios.tv. Right Brain TV was taken for some reason, so rightbrainstudios.tv.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is thanks for Joe for the super chat. Says you should check out the video I made about you guys on this channel. Pretty funny. Good to see you, Rome. All right, Joe. Wait, is that STFU SLib? I can't curse because I'm trying not to curse because Twitter and I'm not Twitter, but YouTube, the way they are now, we can get demonetized for cursing too much. But thanks, Joe. I can't wait to see it. you put out some really good videos. Also, Eric Gray says, just bought a ticket for Death to America, and I'm looking forward to it, Rome. Also, the people that are telling us to grow up don't have anything to lose and should talk to those of us as teachers in Florida in particular. Absolutely. In fact, there's a lot that's going on with the teachers in Florida. I'm in Florida, and there's a lot going on, especially with basically a book ban that's going on in Florida. Stuart Fisherman says Bernie's staying next to architect of that nightmare, and what's pathetic is he knows that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Black Sun says, wait, didn't she mention the rail union at all? No, she didn't. CB Jam Rock says, Boondock song, D. Ride Joe Biden. Thank you so much for that. Red Rebel Dragon said, okay, I read this one. Let me see. Ruffy Low says, love your live stream with Due Distance, JB. Amazing conversation. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. That means a lot. Flush 75 says, Karen Ball, CIA grifter. Thank you so much. Cool Blue says, DS rigged their primary. Oh, Democrats rigged their primaries. When they rigged against Bernie, they also rigged against all those who voted to nominate Bernie. Why should anyone want to be or vote for a Democrat? Thank you so very much for that, Cool Blue. We also have Chibo Goro says, this is for Rome's angry rant earlier. Everybody wants to contribute to Rome's angry rants. His rants are classic. Rome and CJ are my anger translators. I told them that much. So, yeah. Let me check to see if there's any. We have some on Rockfin. So, let me go to Rockfin really quick. I'm glad. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around, because this is also very important to cover a little sneak peek of the documentary for Rome and Right Brain TV. So Dave Burt says, what's going on here? Tell me Biden has the fear of God in him more than wants you to do what you say in the title. Let me see. Andy B says that reporter is just a lost, immature, impressionable person looking for a righteous cause. Says Yang is a psyop. Yeah. Let me see. I know there's a tip on Rockfin as well. Get to that. Thank you. Eric Montague says, question for you. What got you guys on board for Socialist Revolution? Black Panthers? That's part of it. If you go, Eric, back to when we originally started, which was in April of 2021, we actually were the Fred Hampton leftists, and we subscribed to a more revolutionary type of politics, more Marxist, socialist, communist sort of politics, because we were disaffected from the political system that we have right now. And so, to be honest with you, being in the socio-political position that we all are in, it seems like a no-brainer, because this capitalist system has done diddly squat for us. I know some people haven't heard that phrase in a while, but it hasn't done diddly for us. And so because of that, we look for a system that actually would be more egalitarian, equitable, and equal for us. Also, on top of that, the going with socialism, capitalism is what enslaved our ancestors, because these capitalists were the ones who actually got our ancestors enslaved so that they can have free labor. So why would we, in our right mind, subscribe to a system that put us in chains, that subjected us to Jim Crow and black codes and mass incarceration? That would be foolish for us to subscribe to a system that continuously puts us in as chattel. So this is some of the reasons why. I don't really want to speak for everybody in the group, but a lot, all of us pretty much are anti-capitalist, because it really disenfranchises the world. We're in disenfranchised positions because of capitalism, because it leads to imperialism, racism, and patriarchy. So thank you so very much. And thanks, David Burt, for your last comment. Says, thanks for covering this RBN. as well. So yeah, that's basically it. And if you guys are, please like the stream. And also to all the rest of you guys, just to let you guys know, Rome Death to America documentary premieres Friday, February 3rd at 9 p.m. Sell them out. Prove the naysayers wrong.
We're so close.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on yesterday. I wanted to just thank you. Really appreciate it.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't think we were. I wasn't on a podcast since I got the last flight out of China when COVID broke out over there, and I jumped on. A bunch of people wanted to have me on, and then I just never went on a podcast again. I think the last time I was on a podcast, I was trashing Tulsi Gabbard like 2 years ago. So it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So let me see. Gabby says, where are you selling the tickets? Go to rightbrainstudios.tv. And I can put the link in the chat. Just let me go to the right. You go to Right Brain Studios website, and then I will put the link in the chat for you so that you can get it quickly. Because I know that can be a little bit jarring to try to read and put it in. So there you go. There's rightbrainstudios.tv. I'll put it in the chat for Rockman as well. And Rome, if you want to take it away.
Kevin get the movie, so we're gonna let him go ahead and share his screen and do his thing.
All right, Rome. I won't be able to see my screen, so if there's any issue with the playback, just send me a text because it's going to cover everything. All right, let's do it. So just playing it from the top, right? We're going to play the first 10 minutes or so. All right. All right, you can see my screen now?
I'm doing it right now. Now we can see.
Okay.
Make sure you share your audio.
All right. Let me hide this. Shit. All right.
What is wrong with you guys? Take yourself back. Do you know how many fucking guns we got just on this block alone? We outgunned the police department. Sitting here watching our people die off. It's murder. Even our gangbangers. Because we have to keep in touch with our killers. They keep in touch with their killers. Their killers get badges. Their killers get, ranks in their militaries and armies. Our killers get prison. So it's time to build our military and make sure our killers know how to actually aim their guns and know who the real target is, because it's easy to take me out. Like I always tell you guys, the only vote that we should be doing, especially Black and brown communities, is who gets the guillotine next. You're never going to be afloat. Why would they put you afloat? If you are afloat, then you can't work for me. If you are afloat, you can't fill my prisons. If you are educated, how can I get you to fight my wars? What the fuck? So when I say death to America, I really mean death to America.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why that's a black screen. It's weird. I think it might be an issue on my end, maybe. Because, all right, yeah, we'll just start it here. It's fine.
Rome took a bullet out my dad's head, so he kind of named me after him. Growing up in these blocks, it was, the mother and the father in the home, and sometimes a mother can just make it off of one check. But it started to get harder on people. We started seeing people disappear or going to the military, the army, or prison system, and they just never come back the same. There is no wrong way of protesting. Everybody has a fight in a revolution, right? What's that word? Yep, this the gas station I do my gas runs at. I would do a gas run today, but I'm fucking broke, and I didn't do no fundraising this morning, so I had a long morning. I had a late night and a long morning, so look at my dude, helping people out. I told you I was gonna be here with my team. How y'all doing? Man, that's my boy. We go hand in hand. I'm ready to do my gas giveaways. He ain't got no problem with me standing up here. You know what I'm saying? Helping the people out. Like, man, it's all cool. He even let me smoke my weed in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And sell my weed. It's all love. Man. Oh shit, that's probably too much. Let me get $2 on 3. I got a little gas can trying to cut this damn yard. Here. All right. Oh yeah, man. We're gonna show the hood some love, man. That's what we do. Commies cuts. We're gonna be going around cutting lawns, people, trees, bushes, whatnot. Everything for free. Everything for free. But it's not for people who's trying to take advantage of it. And if you have a man at home, no.
We're rolling now.
I met Rome when I was a long time ago, so it's not. Rome has always been that person. Like, seriously, he's always been that person.
Who did the string?
Rome is my best friend's brother's brother. That's how you think about it, yeah. He just became my little brother.
Stupid, lazy Americans.
How I met him, honestly, was about the fuck. Hey, bro, stop! I'm talking about you right now. He say that, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, whatever, Rome. No, but when he got older, he actually started doing this. And I've been with him since he was 15. So at the end of the day, I know for a fact what he stands on, when he say he gonna do some shit, he gonna do it. And I'm talking about he started going and taking care of people and asking people what they needed and what they wanted or what they desired. It wasn't about, oh, just doing some shit. It was about making steps and just getting up and moving and making us as a Black community better. Making us, and it wasn't even in the end, it went further than me in a Black community. It went as just a community, as a people doing better.
Historically, community leaders, especially people doing stuff like him, have also become targets either through the government or.
Oh no, the government has definitely got a problem with it because guess what? The government does not help us. They don't help us because guess what? When I watched Rome moving and doing things, I saw when he asked for assistance. No, I'm being real. He did not get help.
Like he has to raise money online, like when there's just so much money being.
Do you want to know what the problem is? The problem is he's Black. He's Black. And they don't believe that the fact that what he's doing is what he's doing. And they don't believe it. Let's be real.
Part of the documentary is there is a lot of naysayers, and that's one we're like, well, why don't we?
Well, ain't no naysayers, because guess what? Here it go. We in the hood. We in the hood. Turn y'all cameras around. We in the hood. We right here. We do this shit straight from the fucking hood. I ain't got no makeup on, no nothing. I'm telling y'all, we do this shit from the hood, from the heart. This man been doing this shit from the heart. There is no bullshit about it. It's about making everybody better. We're a whole collective as a unit, as a world, as a family, as a planet. Y'all stupid motherfuckers want to divide shit about color and this and that and other and stature and how much money you make. No, that's not what it is. And I'm done talking.
Thank you so much for the time, and I hope I didn't upset you.
It didn't upset me, but yeah, I just got really, really, really mad.
Maybe you could walk me through like growing up and everything.
Man, they done been through a lot of stuff. Like when I say I've been through a lot of stuff, that's not my story to tell. To tell nobody what nobody been through.
The Bush and Clintons was the ones to move us out of here. And Obama solidified it by making their tax cuts permanent. And making it harder in the hood. I love that the house is still beautiful. A stone of what used to be.
Call it that.
First of all, before you say anything, that woman that says she's your big sister, if I ever get to meet her, I would love to give her a hug.
Yeah, that's my sister-in-law best friend. I knew her since I was a kid, man. Even though I used to tell her, like, man, I'm gonna change the world. She's like, all right, whatever, nigga. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do something because we was always poor. We was poor. I remember we all used to shack up at my boy Q house. We all lived together. My brother stayed in the basement. Me and her slept on the front floor with my nieces sleeping on the couches, on the couch bed. We had my boy Mo sleeping in the kitchen, the kids sleeping in the bedrooms. Like we all was together, and we did this for years, man, for years. And I'm glad that Kevin had, because I didn't even know she actually did a interview until Kevin had showed me. I'm like, oh shit, y'all got Tasha in there. She didn't wild out too much, did she? But yeah, Tasha, she's a great friend of mine. She taught me a lot, and I'm glad that she still had my back, man. Like we'd have been through the ringer, we'd been homeless together, we'd have been prostitutes together on the ground together, like for real. She mean a lot to me. She showed me a lot of ways to survive and still be here to this day.
Yeah.
Tasha is she a real one. She's still here for me. She do my daughter hair for free. She whatever I want, whatever I need, she's always there for me.
Can I say one thing about that interview?
Sure.
From the filmmaking side of it, it just goes to show Rem's character, because we set up to shoot all day, and I told him as early as we can get up because we're only going to be here for 3 days. We're going to shoot. And my camera guy is the kind of guy, like, if Rem wasn't up yet, he's like, let's just go out and shoot whatever. Like, he just wanted to work the whole time. So that day, Rem let us know that he was going to be cutting the lawn and that we were just going to have to chill for a couple hours while he did what he was trying to help people out. So we basically were just sitting around waiting while he's just helping people. And I thought that was actually really telling about his personality. And so we end up, what can we do? Oh, hey, you want to do an interview about Rome? And then we go in the back, and Rome's so busy that the work he's doing to help someone is louder than the interview, and we can't even do the interview because he's busy trying to help somebody out, cutting her lawn for her. And I thought that was really telling. And then it was one of the few times where once the interview was over, we all just looked at each other like, we got it, like that's going in. You could just tell sometimes when something's fire. And her interview was so good and so real and so raw. We're like, this is not a noisy documentary. This is not a Vice documentary. You're not going to have someone come that truthful like that and even tell the guy she's talking about to basically shut the fuck up while she's doing her interview. We had to leave that in. We're like, we're leaving that in. I mean, it's just too good. Everybody, my wife, my mom, they would always hear me working on the project, and they love her too. I mean, she's just a natural, it's a natural.
Yeah, she showed up. You go ahead, JB. I'm sorry.
Well, that's that authenticity, right? That a lot of us want to see is that, look, and she can probably relate to the poor white people in places like Appalachia that are going through what they're going through. Yeah. And she's like, why are we going up against each other? It doesn't make any sense. And so, Tasha's my sister now, too. Tasha, if you're watching this, I can't wait to meet you. We're going to meet, and we're going to get down on some chicken wings, some hot wings. And we're gonna and have fun, because my thing is that it's about the authenticity and being real, and that's one thing I appreciate. So thank you for interviewing her.
I'm glad he asked her that. Like, she was like, what the problem is? He's black. And you know what? A lot of people just won't admit it. A lot of people won't admit it. They will call me a liar. They call me a grifter. They call me a scam artist. They say this and that, but they leave out all the people that said, Rome, you inspire me. Rome, you teach me. Rome, you help me. Yeah. They leave out all I have done to insult me because they don't believe I'm doing what I'm actually doing because I am a black revolutionary. I don't think for a second, with the majority of these motherfuckers being racist and prejudiced, that we're not going to have racism on the left or people that have racist tendencies on the left that's going to look at me and be like, there's no way he's doing that shit. If I can't do it, he can't do it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
You know what, Rome? You know who said, okay, I'm going to quote the person who said what they said, and then I'll tell you who said it. This person said, if Rome was white, then he would be in the national news right now. Who said that?
Nico House.
Nico said that. And Nico realized that just from seeing your example. And the thing is that a lot of times that just really goes to show about the white supremacy. And white supremacy is really a tool of capitalism in order to keep us divided. Mm-hmm. And so I just got to say, this is a brilliantly well done documentary. Kevin, you have my respect, man, because I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And because we need people to bring this to the fore. I honestly hope that somebody like that Michael Myers would see something like this. I honestly hope somebody like him would see something like this because he's from Michigan. And I hope that he goes, you know what? We need to spread this out so that more people can see this. Because the problem is that we're so caught in this bubble that we don't see each other's issues. And we don't see, oh, wait, you got the same problem as me. You got the same problem as me. Wait, something's not right here. And I think that's part of what we were talking about with TikTok earlier. Is that all these kids now, not kids, I'm sorry, these young adults are now saying the exact same thing. Well, a lot of us millennials, we're saying the exact same thing. A lot of Gen X are saying the exact same thing. Even some boomers are saying the exact same thing because my mom is a boomer and the system failed her on purpose. And so a lot of us are going, we need to change things.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Let's believe, like Tasha has said, the government don't like it. A lot of people say, Rome, you should run for local office. you should run for local office, or they criticize me because I don't run for local office and I talk shit about people that's in office. But what you guys don't know is that I did run for Congress. Not Congress. I did run for city council. I did run for city council. You know what they told me? You know what they told me? Run for Democrat or prepare for a bullet. I was gonna be one of the first dudes running as a communist for city council up here in Detroit. I was on the phone talking to all kind of important people, and they telling me, if you want to have a long life, don't run as a communist in Detroit. So they basically threatening my life. So what do y'all want? You want me to compromise? So now I have to compromise my principles. And that's where I just draw the line in the sand. I'm not compromising my principles. I'm not compromising a name or any type of way. Well, we can still do communism, but call it this. I'm not doing none of that shit. You get what you want. You get what you get. You get what you need. Communism. That's it. I'm not here to fucking put my kid gloves on and handle you. I'm not your fucking dad. I'm not your fucking mom. I'm not your fucking friend. I'm a revolutionary here to help you learn so you can liberate yourself. And I can't do that with kid gloves on. And this is why you guys have failed strategies now. Bernie Sanders, Tusley, and fucking all the motherfuckers. Same ass failed strategy now because you guys have been handled with kid gloves. You want socialism? Make it. Take it. It's the only way.
This film, just to say real quick, it was kind of the perfect storm because in 2016 we did a documentary. We went out to Philly and filmed like what wasn't being shown by the media when Hillary and during the primaries, when there was the riots and everything in Philly, when Clinton won and Bernie conceded, and we shot that on like a new camera. But for the last, after we made that film, we got pretty much blacklisted from the industry. We had like a Netflix project squashed. I got fired from my job. So yeah, the teacher, I was bringing into my one class a movie that had fucking Oscar-winning actor Viggo Mortensen narrating it while I was in school, and they wouldn't let me play it because it was showing some of those left issues and stuff like that. So, the whole Hollywood industry is co-opted. Doing that first film in 2016 basically made me a pariah. Like I couldn't get work. Yeah, I got dropped. So in the end, I just resigned myself that that's actually a blessing. I'm never going to be accepted by this industry. And so I'm just going to move even further. But for the last 7 years, we couldn't get funding for anything. So we shot 2 award-winning documentaries with camcorders, which haven't been used since like the 90s. Like I'm talking old camcorder. Still managed and we still managed to hit some big festivals. But this is the first movie that we've shot on like the same shit that Netflix and stuff uses. So with Rome, it was like it's the perfect storm of like having this incredible story to tell, and finally having gotten a couple people in our corner who had the equipment and were like, yeah, we can do that. So that was really, it was just the perfect, films are all about timing. It was everything. It was finding out about Rome. It was seeing if those dates were going to work and going back and forth. And it was just, everything just came together. And I can't say enough how welcome we were. Like a lot of people don't know, I don't know Rome at all before this. We went out there, met for the first time, and it just was really cool because Tasha, we're all hanging out. My camera guy and her were getting pretty chummy. It was great. It was beyond
You about to fuck that nigga. You know Tasha.
Beyond the despair of the film, which there's a lot, we had a blast. I mean, Rome says like the movie's pretty dark. Like we were laughing, having a good time. Yeah, we were, but I kind of realized when I got back and was looking at the footage on my own, like this is really like depressed. Like this is dark. I mean, this is like really something, man. It really like it hit you. It probably takes some life off, years off your life, because when you, as a documentarian, when you get back and you really get out of the mentality of making it, and I usually put like a few months up between shooting it and really making it. You got to get away from it. And it was like looking at it the first time, and it was horrifying. And I mean that not against the people of Detroit, but what's been done to them is criminal. The people who did it should be in jail. Talk about murderers and killers in the street. These are killers in the municipality. These people are straight up killers in Detroit. They're the most cold-hearted, or the people behind the desk, not the people, behind the wheel going to commit a crime. I was shocked. I mean, a street where there's only one house with people in it and just 4 houses left. I'll tell you, the metaphor I saw for Detroit was when we were about to shoot, my camera guy or my sound guy looked up. He's like, oh my God, what does that smell? I've never smelled anything that bad in my life. And we looked down, and there was a cat fossilized to the asphalt, meaning it had been left there so long that it was not only rotten and dead, it was stuck and fossilized pretty much to the ground. And that was the metaphor of Detroit, that this has been so neglected that this dying cat that is right in the middle of the street and nobody even knows it's either here, nobody even cares, no one's going to come to get it. You would never see that in the burbs. Like, it's something as small as that. Like, I mean, it was horrifying. I mean, and that was to me like the metaphor of Detroit at that moment. It was like these people have just been left here and it's all been left to rot. And the buildings were so well made in the houses that they haven't fallen. Like, they're just still
like I told you, like you seen we was my house, the house that I took you in, that was burnt down. It's still standing. We walked through it. We walked up the stairs. These are really well built houses, and like I had explained in the document, it takes a lot of neglect to let something like that just go down. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of neglect, and a lot of people like to blame the victims. A lot of people like to blame the people of Detroit. We didn't have no power. We wanted, like, man, it's so much bullshit that's going on. Houses are getting burnt down and flooding or whatever the fuck, trees falling. It all has something to do with money. All the shit got something to do with money. People being displaced, and after the white flight of Detroit, and we are seeing the gentrification of Detroit. You know, and this is the thing, like they trying to raise everything and push us out so they can get their city back. White people want Detroit back, but I don't think it's happening. I think they push so many black people into corners that Detroit is so black now that you can't unblack it. You can't once. And they actually, like, they have seceded in certain areas. I'm not gonna lie. Certain areas that we never was gonna go back to, like downtown, you know, certain number of streets, them big ass houses in East English Village, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't unblack Detroit. And a lot of these people are going to be in over their heads when they find out how high our taxes is compared to the suburbs, or how much you actually got to put into our infrastructure to rebuild the schools. It's going to take trillions of dollars to rebuild Detroit. And the gentrifiers just don't have enough money or patience to do it. As soon as they find another fucking city, or as soon as they find something else, they're gonna be on to the next. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Can I say another thing too that was shocking is we tried to get you to do the history of Detroit, and we knew we wanted that in the film for people who just, you know, you got to assume when you make a film that the person watching it's an infant, because if we make it just for RBN people, then how do we bring more people into this discussion? Which, you know, everybody in RBN, or people who watch RBN, they already agree with, you know, a lot of what Rem's saying. So it's about trying to make it, without losing its message, palatable to somebody who would maybe never think they'd share space with Rome in that kind of capacity. So our goal is to take a message as extreme as Death to America and let you follow this guy around and start to build up that humanity where they could say, oh, maybe I don't agree with it. You're never going to, you know, make a movie and try to force someone to agree to something. I don't agree with that kind of filmmaking, but it's about trying to make the best case to humanize Rome. And at the end of the day, let the audience decide, you know, do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? But can you kind of see how he came to that belief, how he could say something like Death to America? And the one thing Rome kept telling us was that Detroit used to be this beautiful place and a black family would own a nice house and this and that. And I'm not saying we didn't believe him, but we didn't have any footage of it. So we were able to actually go back through some people on our team and find some footage of that. And it's mind blowing. I mean, there's some footage in the film of like a happy black family on an amazing, in front of a very large house, doing their yard. And it's not at all what we saw there. And that makes it really more heart wrenching. And another reason I think this film's so important is I've seen the other side of the industry. I was pretty hot in my school as far as for how young and new I was. I was working for a pretty good company. I'm not going to say the name of, but this is a good example. So I'm working for this company and I got to read 25 scripts a week. And then I pick the ones that are good. And then we try to make them. And there was like one script written by a black woman who's a comedian, pretty well-known comedian. It was called Big Mama. It was about a woman who works at the DMV and gets fired. She lives in the hood and she decides to open a brothel in her mom's salon after hours, but like one that treats people really well. And I was telling my boss, like, we got to make this. It's hilarious. It's great. It reaches a black demographic because all they made was like bad white sci-fi movies. And this is 2016. He told me with a straight face that this movie will never get made and no one will ever see it. And black people don't buy movie tickets. Now look at where we're at right now. Black cinema goers are some of the most passionate there is. They always have been, going back to even I mean,
they just don't do the testing. They can say what they can say that because nobody actually did the testing on black moviegoers. Like nobody actually give a fuck.
Bruh.
Yeah. They're not
Okay.
no black communities.
Just to add to your point, Kevin, it's funny because back in 2005, there was once a young man named JB, and JB was working as a line cook at a restaurant. And Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith came out.
Telling your
and yeah, you see this grade,
I'm
baby.
I'm up there too. So
Yeah, I'm daddy status.
I got one grade
But-
on this month.
But I go into my job, and Willie's at the grill. Willie is a little bit older than me. He's a black man in his 40s. And I said, yeah, I just came back from seeing the new Star Wars. He goes, oh, for real? He goes, man, I love Star Wars. Willie, black dude from the hood, goes, I love Star Wars. I'm like, what? You do?
A lot of black people love Star Wars.
I'm thinking Star Wars is a white person movie. Next thing you know, he's like, man, I love Star Wars.
I mean, who don't like a story about a nigga fighting their system? If a black person see a movie about a group of people fighting, like I never watched, Star Wars, but I got the concept of it because you motherfuckers never shut the fuck up about it.
You never
But,
seen any
yeah, I never saw it. I never saw it.
Wow.
Trust me. I trust me. I seen it. And I heard it from you motherfuckers. But yeah, if a motherfucker can see a bunch of people fighting the dark empire, and be like, nah, that's garbage. Like, no, we agree. Look how many, and we were just speaking on this, how the FBI had came in and started really changing the end of those movies. Like they had to come back out and make the light side lose one time. You know what I'm saying? Then they come back for a sequel, and now it's just it's crazy. But I think they just underestimate. It's just like how I look at that shit like how glasses are made. See, you got your glasses on. If I had glasses on, they'd just slide off my face because glasses were made like they're not testing black moviegoers the same way glasses weren't tested and made for black people. That's why they slide off our fucking faces all the time. The faces that it was made for was European and Asian because those are the market. Those are the people that make it.
Pay for this big Italian nose, dude.
Yeah.
That's what holds it up,
Yeah, but if I had your glasses on, it's the same shit. They can say black people don't watch the movies. They because you don't know any black people, motherfucker. You don't get to the black cinemas.
It gets crazier because I kind of just kept pushing the issue on this movie with my boss, and eventually he's like, "Well, if you set up a read-through, which is where you get some actors and you come in, you read the script and see how it works, then I'll give it a shot." So, I mean, I'm an intern. I'm not getting paid anything. I drove all around California, dropping printed scripts off to this woman's friends. She wanted these comedian friends of hers to read the script. I drove all around LA, gave everyone the script. My boss shows up to this read through 20 minutes late, hungover. He had just gotten in from which is really unprofessional to do to someone. We do the read through and it fucking kills. And a lot of times they're awkward, even on a good script, because you're just like reading it in the table, but it kills. Her comedian friends are amazing. Everyone's laughing. He brought some of his white, sort of subordinates in to watch, see how it went over. And we had snacks and the woman came up to me after and she thanked me. She was actually in The Hangover. If you've seen The Hangover, there's two officers testing stuff on the guys, and she's a black officer. I can't remember her name because I haven't lost contact with her, but she's really funny. And she was on the show Deadwood by HBO. But so anyway, we do the read through and it just kills. And afterwards, I'm thinking, wow, like I think I might have made a change at this company. Like there's no one that can deny that the roof came off this place. And her girlfriend was there, and her girlfriend, she came up to me after, she's like, this means a lot to her, like tears in her eyes. And I thought, there's no way we're not going to make this, because I've been through tons of read through meetings, never went that well. And at the end, I go up to one of my boss's friends and I'm like, that was pretty great. He's like, dude, it was amazing. And he's like, he dead face said, but Gabe's he's just humoring you. He's not going to fund this movie because black people don't go to the movie theater. And my jaw just dropped. And I didn't stay at the company for very long. And that's when I started realizing, like, Right Brain, we consider ourselves anti-imperialist and underground because every member's in one way or another has been blacklisted from the industry. But I was the only one that actually got to see the industry. I was welcomed initially, and they're like, "Oh, he supported Bernie Sanders. Oh, this and that." You'd be surprised how quickly doors start to shut on you for things that have nothing to do with your filmmaking ability. And that was the thing that shocked me is like this guy runs a company and he doesn't even realize how big the history of black audiences in cinema goes back. Going back to the
then like Black Panther made fucking Black Panther, and it was Jordan Peele movies. Like when they are black directed and shit like that, like okay, we might not go see a whole bunch of white people in fucking Egypt. We might not go see that. Okay, we might not go see some shit like The Mummy or you know what I'm saying, some Titanic. All right, I'll give you that. But when it's made and it's speaking for us, to our people, for our people, we're gonna sell that motherfucker out. I don't want to see, you know, a ratchet baby mama, you know what I'm saying, in the hood type shit. Like that's a stereotype. That's not all black women. That's just a stereotype of black women. We don't want to see that type of shit. So of course I'm gonna avoid that fucking movie. But when you talk about uplifting our community, we're gonna sell out. We're gonna show out. When have we not showed out? When have every time we do show out, people get mad. Don't black people got something better else to spend their fucking money on? Instead of selling out the Black Panther and making it the biggest fucking selling movie ever at that time, have black people fucking packed, right? So black people don't go to the movies. It's a fucking lie. We go to the movies when we feel we are being represented correctly. But John, yes, I want to answer this question. Yes, the glasses thing is true. Glasses are originally made for the shape of white and Asian faces and nose. They don't test them on black faces. That is a true thing. You can Google that. Yeah, you can borrow mine. You can have my hat. I got plenty of hats.
If you guys go back to the history of film, Birth of a Nation is probably one of the most celebrated films in history. Now Hollywood tries to hide it, but at the time, people used to lie on their resume in the industry to say they were an extra Klanman in that movie. That movie was about the Ku Klux Klan, and it's like a 3-hour epic. And I won't deny that it's very well made because the guy had every studio tool at his hand, but it's a horrifying movie where they actually did blackface on this guy, and the Klan's hunting him down. The Klan are made to look like these sort of Knights of the Templar, honorable people. But what a lot of people don't talk about is there was a filmmaker that came out after who's considered the first black filmmaker in Hollywood named Oscar. I can't pronounce his last name, but he made a movie called Within Our Gates, which was technically the first diss in a movie. He actually clapped back at that movie that Hollywood loved, and he had people dressed up as the Klan and was making fun of them. They're wearing like raggedy bed sheets, running around, making fools of themselves, and it's a great film. And the audiences went nuts for that guy. I mean, he really it's not a new thing. Hollywood and cinema and black audiences go back really far because film has always been the cultural echo, as like Hegel would say, of what's happening in the world. So obviously, if you're in some of these communities, you're going to want to see that stuff shown on screen.
Yeah. I'm not about to that's just some crap. It's just another cop out for them to not to appeal and to please their black audience. They rather shun us out all the way than to just compromise and you know what I'm saying, give us what we ask, and we're not asking for much, just decent representation. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is being a black man in the streets. I know there is ghetto people, there is thugs, there is that. But do we go to the movies and every movie we see, is it a token white guy that's trying to be black? Is it a fucking redneck? Is all white people rednecks? Are all white people fucking racist? Are all white people fucking ignorant? No, you don't see that in your movies, even though we see that shit every day. Outside, go to the fucking store. You got Karens out this motherfucker. You got white people that's making white people look bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that shit in y'all movies. So why should I put up with that bullshit and go and cop down and go see your movie?
Yeah. So this was, according to this, it was written by Oscar Macho.
Yeah, we played a couple stuff from him on our site. We did a double feature one time with Birth of a Nation, not to glorify it, but if you hadn't seen it, you wouldn't really get what he was doing in that movie. So we kind of paired them together, but we put him last so you would understand the context of what was going on there. But yeah.
Gotcha. I got to get through these super chats, and we're going past over 3 hours now.
Wow. You guys are troopers, man. You guys are troopers.
Yeah, I'm hungry. So
I need the smoke.
But
Definitely.
I'm gonna go over these, and then did you guys want to keep going? Because I gotta get going.
I just got a couple of star questions towards me.
Sure.
I wanted to address.
Yeah, I can get to those real quick.
What? I got them right here.
Okay.
Rome has a certain charisma. He can lead, take break. Do you have somewhere for your family to go? No, I don't have anywhere to go. There is no running. Like I already warned my family, the government is coming after me. The police going to be coming after me. Either you got my back or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. You never know who's going to sell you out. But we have nowhere else to go. We have nowhere else to run. Our backs are against the wall. So it's either fight or flight. It's either fight or flight. And that goes for my friends, my family, whatever the fuck. There is no more running. There is no more hiding. If they coming for me, well, motherfucker, you better protect me. And that's how I feel. Stacy, the documentary is called Death to America. You can find it on Right Brian TV.
Right Brain TV, rightbrainstudios.tv. You can find it the link in our bio.
Right there. You can click go to it right there. They got plenty of things other than my documentary. My documentary is just an original for this website, their first actual document that they shot. So that's why we're trying to push it. It's
the first documentary, the first TV movie. We've got a couple. Got some docs.
And, Rome has a solution for fixing water pipes. Yes, stop privatizing. Stop privatizing everything. Nationalize these goods. Nationalize our water. Nationalize our infrastructure. You know, that is what's going to get our pipes fixed. Socialism. That is what's going to keep our pipes fixed. And and keep our people healthy. See what's happening right now. While we're not getting to these things, is because of capitalism. It's because of people potentially losing out on money from the water departments to Nestle. They're missing out. They're going to be missing out on a lot of money. So we got to put people before profit. As long as you got that in your mindset, it's not hard to solve a problem. It's not hard to solve a problem, especially when it comes to, taking care of your people, making sure they don't catch a disease from the water that they are bathing and drinking in. That is not a hard concept to come in like, oh man, we're going to lose a couple of $1 billion. No, we're not losing a couple of $1 billion. We're gaining lives. We're gaining generations. We're gaining more health for our people. So we're not losing a damn thing. We're just investing in infrastructure, investing in the people, and nationalizing these systems is what's going to help us overall and help keep our people healthy and help keep our infrastructure strong. Because look at Texas. Soon as it get too cold, you motherfuckers froze to death. The infrastructure is weak because everything down there is privatized and there is no regulations. There's no regulations for that shit. When that dam had collapsed in Texas, it was privatized. It should have been nationalized. And that's the problem. Money.
Thanks to Ben Horseman for the super chat. Thank you so very much for that. If there's no more super chats, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before we get going?
Nope. I love y'all. Thank y'all for checking out the documentary. Please cop a ticket. If we sold out, if you can't get a ticket this time, please wait for the next screening. We're gonna have more than one screening. Of course, the movie is gonna drop. You can watch it anytime after you buy it. You can click it, watch it. You can share it. Anybody you like. Of course, we're not gonna just be like, all right, give me back your fucking ticket.
Wait. Let me just say, we're gonna do this screening, and if it sells out, which it looks like it's about to, we're gonna do a second screening. And if that one sells out, we'll do a third. But it'll be out on this website on the 26th for members. Memberships are only $5 a month. We can't even go any lower. We don't even up it. And the cool part about our website that's different is once you sign up for Right Brain as a member, it'll never go up. So even if eventually we have to up prices on memberships, you always pay what you got in at. So if you got in early with us now, $5, it'll be $5 forever. And if you buy a yearly membership, we give a survival pack to the homeless. So that's just something worth mentioning. But yeah, once on the 26th, once it's up, it's up. And if you want to share your account with someone or whatever, we don't care. We're not Netflix. We don't mind it. Go ahead, share it. The more people that watch it, more people that watch the movie, the better. And yeah, I just want to make sure people know on the 26th, or I'm sorry, the 24th, the film will be up permanently, so you'll be able to watch it whenever you want. And if you can't make the screening and you bought a ticket, we will send you a link, like Rome said, to watch it. If you share that, sure, do what you want. We're not going to come after you for it,
And if you don't get a ticket, be watching out. Look out on our Twitters, because you never know. You never know. So just look out.
Yep. All right. Did you guys subscribe? Have you subscribed yet to RBN? Please make sure to do that. Because if not, then we're gonna I'm gonna cry, and you don't want to see me cry on screen. You really don't want. No, you don't want to do that. It's not good. So also, did you like the stream? Please make sure to like this stream as well. I just want to thank all of you guys for watching. Also, if you guys would like to get email updates, because you can't really rely on the algorithm, or you can't rely on the updates on YouTube to let you know, to notify you, then go to our Substack. And then also thank you to the patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of you for sustaining us and keeping us afloat. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this. So thank you so much to you, Kevin, as well.
Thank you for having me, man. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for everything you guys do. And I hope to work with you guys again, man. I hope this is just the start of a friendship. And if I can just say, we're Right Brain TV, the only underground anti-imperialist streaming site. There's some other underground streaming sites that have tried to take us off the shelf. I'm not going to say who they were, but we're here to stay. So,
yep. Make sure to go to rightbrainstudios.tv so that you guys can catch the documentary Rome, Death to America. With that, water your plants, water yourselves, and yeah. ACAB.
Yeah.
I said what I said.